the dream of becoming a state champion. Every high school football player makes that his ultimate goal. Tonight, Missouri's top 2 high school football teams meet in St. Louis. Head coach Corey Johnson and #1 ranked Hazelwood East are led by their dominating backfield of David Richard and Tony Moss. Those two have led the Spartans to an undefeated mark. Head coach Kelly Donahoe and #2 ranked Blue Springs are also undefeated, and they are led by quarterback Justin Whitworth and a punishing running game of Andrew Tuggle. 13-0 Hazelwood East, 13-0 Blue Springs. The 2001 Show Me Bowl next on Fox Sports Net. It's the state championship game tonight on Fox Sports Net from the Dome at America's Center. At 4:29 this afternoon, the #1 team in the state arrived on the scene. The Spartans of Hazelwood East, led by Michigan State-bound David Richard. They're going for this, a state title. If they get it, it would be their 3rd in their high school's history. Blue Springs out of Kansas City, the Wildcats 13-0. The Spartans of Hazelwood East, they're 13-0, and they're both going for the state title tonight. Hi, everybody, and once again, welcome to the Dome at America's Center. My name is Dan McLaughlin, and from all of us here at Fox Sports Net, we are once again very proud to bring you the state championship game. In just a moment, we'll hear from my broadcast partner, J.C. Pearson, as well as Brett Stover. Well, to get a flavor of this game, we had a chance to mic these coaches and find out what they're saying to their kids prior to the state championship game here tonight.
Made it back just in time. Look at that. All right. Good luck. Okay. Thanks. Good luck, Rico. Thanks. Good.
Oh, that's good, Matt. Woo! That's perfect, Matt. Watkins thinks he belongs in the NFL anyway. So this is perfect.
To the game prior to this big state championship game, J.C. Pearson, my broadcast partner, now joins us, and certainly, J.C., not much respect being given right now to the kids out of Kansas City.
That's right. Blue Springs is coming in with a bit of a chip on their shoulder, Dan. They don't feel like they're getting the respect that they deserve. They're 13-0, just like Hazelwood East is. But all the talk has been about Hazelwood East and its team speed and all its Division I prospects. So Blue Springs not only wants to win a state title, but they want to prove a point.
Let's take a look at the road to the finals. We'll start right here in St. Louis with Hazelwood East, and it started with a victory over St. Louis U High.
And the thing that really jumps out at you is that they've only given up 7 points the entire playoffs. That means that their defense is playing extremely well, but so is their offense, and boy, is it explosive. It all starts with the running game. They call it thunder and lightning. Tony Moss is the lightning, over 1,000 yards and 14 touchdowns. Very quick, very elusive, and fast. He wants to get to the outside, and he can take it to the house. David Richards is the thunder. He's the power runner inside. He'd rather run over you than run through you. If Hazelwood East is going to win a state title tonight, these two guys have got to have a big game.
Defense certainly a big key, as JC mentioned, and that defense will be trying to stop a Blue Springs team that, as we mentioned, not much notoriety coming into this game. And for more on that, let's go to the sidelines and our third broadcast partner, Brent Stover. Brent?
Well, the Wildcats in their 4-4 attacking scheme on defense are giving up just 9 points per game to this point. And boy, oh boy, they are tough on D. They've defeated Rockhurst twice, including in the second round of the state playoffs. First round, they beat Winnetonka 33-7. Then the win over Rockhurst. The second time they beat the defending champs 31-16. And then they won the third game over Jeff City. Andrew Tuggle, 1,862 yards for him, 25 touchdowns. He averages 143 yards per game. But it starts at quarterback, 6'1" senior Justin Whitworth, whom his coach calls a student of the game. He's got a cannon for an arm, throwing for over 2,000 yards with 22 touchdowns and just 6 INTs. His favorite target is senior Josh Barnes. The two have hooked up 60 times so far this year. You better believe they'd like to do some damage against that Hazelwood East defense here tonight. Of course, Hazelwood, well, they don't yield too many points either. We'll see what happens out here. Dan?
All right, Brent, great job, and we'll hear from you all night long. JC, quickly, your keys to the game.
Well, obviously, for Blue Springs, they have to be very aggressive up front, control the line of scrimmage, and impose their will on Hazelwood East. For Hazelwood East, of course, they want to turn it into a track meet, see if they can get to the outside and take some things to the house.
Hard to believe these guys are 17, 18 years of age, and boy, oh boy, they're some of the top athletes right now in the country. Hazelwood East looking for their third state title. They're led by an All-American in David Richard. Meanwhile, the Wildcats have an All-State quarterback who's thrown for over 2,000 yards. The state championship game next on Fox Sports Net.
Seduction can take many forms. Feast your eyes on the newest. Meet the Chrysler PT Cruiser Touring Edition. Brilliantly engineered, beautifully designed, and equipped with plenty of enticing standard features. And it's all yours for just $19,305. Sounds pretty tempting, huh? The Chrysler PT Cruiser Touring Edition. It's waiting. Available now at your local Chrysler dealer.
When we were deciding where to build this plant, we wanted quality of life and plenty of electric power. This area is real nice, but the electric co-op is pretty small. Not a problem. They're part of this group of over 500 co-ops nationwide, Touchstone Energy. Our co-op worked with us to make sure we got the right power and the right price. So we built the plant, and we get to live here.
And we shine as one.
Come on and feel the love for the guys.
Introducing the best damn sports show, period.
Here are the rules. There are no rules.
A three-ring circus of ex-jocks and comedians where anything goes.
Hey, Mike, better load up on the Michael Jordan cologne because the Wizards stink.
It's 90 minutes of comedy, commentary,
Michael Jordan is still the best player in the NBA.
and all the scores and highlights you can possibly stand.
It's not sex, but it's close.
Weeknights at 7:30 and 11:30 on Fox Sports Net.
Hello? Hello?
The power of cheese.
The 2001 Show Me Bowl is brought to you by Chrysler. Chrysler knows that students are our future. Your local Chrysler Dealers Association is a proud sponsor of the Misha Show Me Bowl. And by Touchstone. Football players are part of our cooperative. Your Missouri Touchstone Energy Cooperatives is a proud partner in Missouri high school activities. Beautiful night in downtown St. Louis, the Dome at America's Center. And that is the scene for tonight's Class 5A state championship. Welcome back. Proud to bring it to you right here on Fox Sports Net. Both these teams are 13-0, and let's start with the team out of Kansas City and their head coach. Two very young head coaches in this game. Kelly Donahoe is in his second year. He's 26-2 at Blue Springs. They're out of the suburban Big 8. They were 7-0 in that conference and finished first. Meanwhile, here in St. Louis, Corey Johnson, first year as head coach of the Spartans of Hazelwood East, one of the great programs in the state of Missouri. They're going for their third state title. They're first under him, and he, of course, was a assistant a couple of years ago to Riverview Gardens and Darren Sunkett as they won a state title. Big crowd on hand, and we hope you enjoyed here on Fox Sports Net. Hazelwood East won the toss, and they have elected to kick off in this game. Brian Trotterman will kick it away for the Spartans of Hazelwood East. Both teams 13-0. It's 1-2 in the state title game. Josh Barge is one of the top receivers in the game. Back deep to receive for Blue Springs. He had 60 receptions this past year. Chris Miller and Brendan Sealer are also back deep to receive, or just about set to go. And the kick will be taken at the 5. Little miscommunication. Blue Springs bobbles, and then they're brought down inside the 20, and that's where they'll start out first and 10. In on the tackle, Rocky Fowler, the senior. Offensive line for Blue Springs, Warren Brock, Brown, Seago, Balele, and Taylor. It's brought to you by Chrysler. The backfield and receivers, they have a good backfield. Tuggle over 1,000 yards. Vaughn, Blease, Brewster, and Barge. We talked about him, and there's a look at their quarterback, Justin Whitworth, the 6'1 senior. Over 2,000 yards passing this season for the Wildcats. They start 1st and 10, ball on the 18. And they've looked a little bit jittery to start this game, JC.
They sure have. Obviously, they're going to be nervous coming in, fumble the kickoff, and then fumble the first snap. Not a good sign.
Aaron Whittington is the top tackler for Hazelwood East, 90 on the year. Cooper, Fowler, and Crowder on that defensive front. Summers and Richard, you'll be hearing the name of David Richard all night long. He's headed to Michigan State. Massey, Seymour, Ray, Love, and Rowe. And folks, they are quick at Hazelwood East. Loss of 1 on that last play, and now a timeout is taken by the senior Whitworth. Not the way that the Wildcats wanted to start.
Not at all. Obviously, there's some jitters and some nerves going on right now for Blue Springs. They've just got to settle down, treat this like a normal game. Obviously, it's not, but they've got to come out, especially early on, and treat it like it's another big game.
And something that they want to do is establish the tone and keep it on the ground. Well, we talked to the Blue Springs head coach, Kelly Donahoe, about coming into this game, facing the #1 team. He knows his squad is the underdog.
You know, we're excited to be in that role. I think our kids like that. Our kids have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder over that because of what we've been through this year, and to be undefeated and to be, you know, somebody was saying 14-point underdogs, which really surprises me. But, you know, they've got a ton of talent over there, so I can see why they'd be picked to beat us.
Hard to believe that you're an underdog when you beat Rockers twice, the defending state champs, and Jefferson City, one of the top programs not only in the state but in the country.
So they've got a right to have that chip on their shoulder. Obviously, they've got to settle down and turn that aggression and that chip into some production on the field.
Lone man in the backfield is Andrew Tuggle, over 1,800 yards this past year. Man in motion. That's Barge. They want to throw the football. Rolling out right. Whitworth has a man, and it's knocked away. Good defensive play by Darnell Ray. You'll hear his name as well all night long, a Division I prospect for Hazelwood East.
You can see why. Darnell Ray, very fast and great wide receiver, but now he's playing defensive back, and watch how he closes on the football. You can see he looks like he's beaten by a step. He just makes up that and gets his hand on the ball. That's what good defensive backs are able to do. Close while the ball is in the air.
3rd down and 11, ball on the 17. Blue Springs, their first possession of the ball game. They want to run the option. The pitch goes to Tuggle. And he's brought down by a host of tacklers. First in there is David Richard, headed to Michigan State.
They said they wanted to come out and run the power. They're trying to get outside. That's not their strength. You see David Richard, he's the inside linebacker, but he's got a lot of speed. He can go sideline to sideline, and he gets out on the outside and is able to bring Tuggle down for a short gain.
Richard, 67 tackles, 3rd most on the team this season. Something that Blue Springs talked about to us prior to tonight's game was making sure they did not kick to any of the deep men of Hazelwood East. They want to kick it out of bounds. It's angled towards the sideline, and a perfect kick, and it'll be in Blue Springs territory just across the 50-yard line. Here's the quote from their head coach, Kelly Donahoe. We won't even kick the ball to them. No way. And if either of them does touch the ball, that just means somebody on our end screwed up. Well, nobody screwed up this first time, though, JC.
That's exactly right. That's like your mom telling you, if you play with fire, sooner or later you're going to get burned. Well, those return guys from Hazelwood East, that's fire. If you kick it to them, sooner or later they're going to burn you. So don't even take that chance.
Here's Dwayne Buchanan to run the offense for Hazelwood East. Good field position on their first possession. It'll be a track meet with these guys on the turf here at the Dome. And they pitch it out wide left. Here is Moss. He is lightning quick. Near a first down. He averages 8 yards per carry. He got close to 10 on the first carry of the night. A look at their offensive line. They're big up front. Williams, Davis, Marshall, Alvarado, and Nichols. Brought to you by Chrysler. Their backfield, and it is quick. 4-4 speed back there, and Richard, Moss, Matsey, Williams, and Smith. We just saw Tony Moss, 6-foot senior, getting looked at by Minnesota, Illinois, and Missouri. And there's their quarterback, Dwayne Buchanan. He runs the show. He can throw and pass. Has a very good arm. Hand off to the first man through. It was a 1st and 10 situation. David Richard, the carrier, picked up maybe 1 on the play. Brought down by Darius Witherspoon, and he is their top tackler. Pennington, McMullen, Taylor, and Hankins up front defensively for Blue Springs. Pike, Dean, Witherspoon, we just talked about him, and Billy Byer. The linebackers, Cooper, Barge, and Troy. the defensive backfield. It's brought to you by Chrysler. 2nd down and 10. He did not get a yard. And there's a close-up look at David Richard. Ball rests on the 39. They want to throw the football. He's brought down. Buchanan brought down, and a loss of 9 on the play. Troy came in from nowhere and brought him down. It'll be a long 3rd down situation coming up for Hazelwood East.
And this is what Blue Springs is going to do. They're going to zone blitz as much as possible. And you can see Jeff Troy is just unblocked. Hazelwood East trying to run the naked boot. They've got nobody to block Troy. Great call by Blue Springs.
The 5'9" senior, the free safety, came in and made the play. 3rd and 20, a loss of 10 on the play. Both teams kind of feeling each other out here in the early going with 8:52 and running in our first quarter. It's the Show Me Bowl on Fox. Buchanan had over 1,300 yards passing, and he'll try to pass here. Another blitz on the left side. He avoids it. Now he's got to run it. Fumble on the play, and it's knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Hazelwood East. Curtis Cooper was in there.
You can see Blue Springs, they want to bring the heat on Buchanan. Another defensive back, Curtis Cooper, the cornerback blitz this time to try to get at him. You see, he's going to come from the left side of your screen right there. And again, he is unblocked, doesn't allow Buchanan time to set up. And then a great job of stripping the ball right there. Goes out of bounds. But those guys from Blue Springs, they're consciously going after the football whenever they get a chance.
Cooper has got 4.4 speed. Shooting in from that side, headed to Arkansas next year. High snap, and the kick is nearly blocked, and it's punted away and marked down at the 28-yard line, and that's where Blue Springs will take over with their 2nd possession of the ball game with 8:32 to go in our first quarter. A quick timeout, back with more in the Show Me Bowl in just a moment.
Seduction can take many forms. Feast your eyes on the newest. Meet the Chrysler PT Cruiser Touring Edition. Brilliantly engineered, beautifully designed, and equipped with plenty of enticing standard features. And it's all yours for just $19,305. Sounds pretty tempting, huh? The Chrysler PT Cruiser Touring Edition. It's waiting. Available now at your local Chrysler dealer.
It's football season. Blue Springs Wildcat and Blue Springs South Jaguar fans, you know what that means. Varsity football action live on AM 1030 KCWJ. Presented by Vision Sports and Comcast. Join play-by-play announcer Brian Johnson.
He's into the end zone, 90 yards, touchdown Blue Springs.
When the Wildcats play, color commentary by Tim Crone. And when the Jaguars play, Buddy Young takes the broadcast booth.
Blue Springs versus Hazelwood live on KCWJ AM 1030 Friday, November 23rd at 7 p.m. 6 p.m. pregame.
From the Metro Sports, the Chiefs had their best game of the year. Tony Gonzalez had 4 touchdown catches. Steven, I can't wait till Daddy's on TV again. Steven, Daddy's so much better at this. I know. I can't wait till Dad's on TV again.
Dad, coming to Metro Sports March 1st.
First quarter, 8:31 to play. Blue Springs and Hazelwood East, the state championship on the line here tonight on Fox Sports Net. J.C. Pearson alongside Brent Stover. My name is Dan McLaughlin. Great to have you along on a perfect night for football, high school style in the city of St. Louis. Hand off to the first man through. That's Andrew Tuggle, the 6'1 junior. He's been battling, J.C., that sore shoulder, so he may not see every single snap on the offensive possessions for Blue Springs.
He's got a bruised deltoid that really has been giving him a lot of problems. But this is what Blue Springs wanted to do. They script their first 14 plays, and they're designed to go straight at Hazelwood East. They want to bloody some noses early and let those guys know it's going to be a slugfest.
2nd down and 8 for the Wildcats. Undefeated out of Kansas City. The pitch to Tuggle. He's got some blockers. Across the 35. He has a first down and knocked out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Knocked out of bounds by Matt Rowe, the 5'10 safety for Hazelwood East.
Great job of blocking. Watch the wide receiver come down and block from the left side of your screen right here and really gets him outside. And you can see him right there. That's Matt Jones, does a great job. And then they get the fullback Vaughn outside also around the corner. If Blue Springs is able to use their speed and get outside, it's really going to open up that power inside running for them.
That's all Tuggle needed was just a little block, and he sprung it out to the right side. Their biggest gain of the night. Hand off to the big fullback. That's Joey Vaughn, and he maybe picks up a foot or two. Back to the original line of scrimmage, brought down by Rocky Fowler.
And that's just designed to slow this Hazelwood East flow down, their pursuit. They come back with the misdirection to the fullback, Vaughn, hoping that those guys are flowing so quickly they can spring him on a quick hitter inside.
And with Hazelwood East, that great team speed, misdirections can work. And that's something that Kelly Donahoe had talked about with us prior to tonight's telecast. 2nd down and 10, ball on the 41. A screen out wide left and plenty of room. Watch out. Tuggle across midfield, down to the 40-yard line.
Great play call, Dan. You were just talking about the misdirection. Works against a defense that flows quickly. Also, screen passes work very well. They want those defensive linemen to get up the field, and watch all those maroon jerseys up the field. Right there, they just throw it outside to Tuggle, and now it's just like a sweep outside. He's got blockers down the field, and that's a guy that you've got to wrap up because he's going to run through some tackles. Tough running back right there in Tuggle.
1st and 10, ball on the 40, and it's in Hazelwood East territory for the first time tonight. 7:04 to play in our first quarter, no score. Vaughn in motion. They want to throw it again. Plenty of time for Whitworth. Looking deep. Has him. Touchdown. Touchdown for Blue Springs. Josh Barge.
What a great throw by Whitworth. Great protection by this offensive line, but that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to come out, make a big play early, get the momentum, get the confidence going, and then that's really going to help the entire confidence of this team.
A 40-yard bomb and a completion to Barge, their leading receiver. Watkins will try the point after. As Blue Springs trying to grab the early lead, and they have. It's 7-0. The number 2 team ranked in the state. They're undefeated at 13-0. And we've seen this time and time again during the regular season.
The play action, Whitworth actually wants to go to the other side of the field to Matt Jones. Then he comes back to the middle, and Josh Barge just runs by Darnell Ray, Hazelwood East fastest player. And you can see the play action holds the backers. He's looking to Matt Jones, who's covered, so he comes back to Barge on the post, who just runs right by Darnell Ray for a big 40-yard touchdown, and a great job by Barge of laying out and going after that football.
What a catch. What a catch by Barge, who finished 2nd in the 110-meter hurdles in track. You know, he has got the speed to get behind the defensive backfield, and how about the athleticism there with that catch?
And what about the throw by Whitworth? You can't throw that ball any better than he threw it.
Whitworth to Barge, 40 yards, and it's 7-0. Blue Springs. Now let's see what they do with their kicking game. We've seen a punt so far. They knocked it out of bounds, but the kicking game, these will be high pooches more than likely.
Try to get some hang time, allow your coverage team to get down the field.
The kick goes to the left side. And here's some running room and then out of running room. Great coverage on the special teams for Blue Springs. Jordan Blease brought him down. Love and nowhere to go. Whitworth, 40 yards, capping off a long drive. 7-0 Blue Springs.
When we were deciding where to build this plant, we wanted quality of life and plenty of electric power. This area is real nice, but the electric co-op is pretty small. Not a problem. They're part of this group of over 500 co-ops nationwide, Touchstone Energy. Our co-op worked with us to make sure we got the right power and the right price. So we built the plant, and we get to live here.
And we shine as one.
Seduction can take many forms. Feast your eyes on the newest. Meet the Chrysler PT Cruiser Touring Edition. Brilliantly engineered, beautifully designed, and equipped with plenty of enticing standard features. And it's all yours for just $19,305. Sounds pretty tempting, huh? The Chrysler PT Cruiser Touring Edition. It's waiting. Available now at your local Chrysler dealer.
Pizza Hut announces us versus them. Them are the pizzas that skimp on toppings. Us is Pizza Hut, the people that load them on, like on our new Ultimate Pepperoni Lovers Pizza, bulging with not one, but 2 layers of zesty pepperoni, and now with 6 kinds of cheese. Them never heard of that much cheese. For pepperoni pizza perfection like this, 2 layers of pepperoni and 6 kinds of cheese. It's not $12.99, it's just $8.99. $8.99. The new Ultimate Pepperoni Lovers Pizza, only at us, Pizza Hut.
And welcome back to the Dome in America's Center. Blue Springs out to the 7-0 lead. Head coach Kelly Donahoe was a quarterback at KU in the late 80s. He's definitely an offensive mind. We saw it on that last drive. A couple of running plays to Hazelwood with the screen pass, and then they hit the deep one to Barge. A nice mix of plays on the second possession after a rough first possession, but you've got to think Blue Springs has the jitters worked out, and now the momentum all on their side. Guys?
Brent, 5 plays, 72 yards, a minute 54 gone on the clock. And this is a surprise to many. Blue Springs with a lead of 7-0. Let's see if Hazelwood East out of St. Louis can bounce back. Buchanan leads their offense, 6:31 to play in our first quarter. And the handoff to Richard. He's going nowhere. Brought down by a host of tacklers. And leading the charge was Witherspoon, their top tackler this past season.
Witherspoon, he's just coming forward at the snap to run blitz, and he is unblocked. He was able to come up with a big tackle on Richards for a loss. These linebackers are very active, and they come forward. There are a lot of zone blitzes by Blue Springs, and it's designed to blow up the running game.
Witherspoon, 60-plus tackles during the regular season and playoffs. His second tonight. 2 men out wide right for Hazelwood East. Massey and Williams, their top receivers, 1 and 2. They want to throw the football. Pressure from the backside, and it's caught. And a tackle by a foot, and somebody is hurt down there. The catch for Brandon Williams, his 30th catch on the year, and he was brought down by Barge, and let's hope he's okay. Looked like he may have been a little shook up on that play.
Blue Springs is playing man-to-man coverage, and they don't play a lot of man coverage. You can see they just run the slant, and they're hoping that Jeff Troy can get under those slants, but if they run those patterns a little deeper, it's just man coverage, and you can see Barge is on the ground and makes the tackle, comes up limping a little bit.
Made the tackle with his ankles. They want to throw again, looking deep. This is Massey out of his range. Good coverage on the left side by Chris Miller.
You can see Hazelwood East, they've got a lot of speed on the outside, a lot of big play potential. They're not accustomed to being down in a ball game, so right now it looks like they want to get a touchdown quickly and try to go up over the top.
JC, there we see Mr. Barge limping a bit after that tackle 2 plays ago. Of course, he has a touchdown reception, 40 yards to put Blue Springs on top, 7-0. We'll be watching him to make sure that he's okay. Fantastic two-way player for Blue Springs. 2nd and 10. They string it out. Moss had nowhere to go. Good play by Pike.
Great job of pursuit by Blue Springs. Everyone talked about how fast Hazelwood East is, but Blue Springs, they've got a lot of speed also, and you can see it's not going to be easy to get to the edge. Watch the pursuit inside, and then Pike does a great job of keeping leverage, forcing him to the outside and making the tackle. Blue Springs is very sound and disciplined defensively.
3rd down and 14. Out wide left is Massey and Williams. Those two over 50 catches this year for Hazelwood East. Ray goes in motion. He's a speedster. A blitz, and they got him. They bring him down. Witherspoon again, his 3rd tackle on the night. He's been all over the place.
And that's their whole objective. They're going to blitz Buchanan. They don't think that they can pick up the blitz and they can get to him before he throws the ball. You see Buchanan, he's not hiding anything. He's in a track stance. He's coming forward, and he's able to get to Buchanan. They're playing man-to-man outside, which is something they haven't shown a lot of this year. They're hoping that the blitz can get to him before they can throw the ball.
And Richard did not pick up the blitz. Curtis Cooper back deep to receive. Low snap. fielded very well there inside the 10. And here's Cooper. Watch out. Avoids one tackler. He's inside the 45, and they'll spot it at the 44, and that's where Blue Springs will take over 1st and 10 with 4:33 to play here in our first quarter. So again, good field position now for the Wildcats of Blue Springs.
And when you get in a game of this magnitude, or any ball game for that matter, field position is critical, but especially when you're playing for the championship. Blue Springs right now, they're starting on Hazelwood East 44-yard line. So, you know, a few plays and they're in field goal range if they can't get a touchdown.
Tuggle in the backfield. Had a couple of big carries on their last possession, which resulted in a touchdown. Here's Whitworth under center. And the handoff to Tuggle. He's going to go nowhere. Met by a host of tacklers, and leading the charge was Withington. Aaron Whittington, the 6'2 defensive end. Just a junior for Hazelwood East.
Hazelwood East, they're just going to jump through some gaps. They can't out-physical Blue Springs, so they're going to use their speed and their quickness, try to jump through some gaps and bring the blitz. Also, you see Whittington, the outside back of the defensive end, is able to just jump through the gap and make a tackle.
Whittington, 91 tackles during the regular season coming into this ball game tonight. 2nd down at 12. They want to run the option. Tuggle picks up a block, runs into his own man, and then is brought down by Hazelwood East. Winston, one of the men in there for Hazelwood East on that tackle. Good job by the quarterback Whitworth to even get that play going.
Whitworth makes good decisions, not only throwing the ball, but also running the option. You can see instead of pitching it right there, he shakes one guy and then pitches it out to Tuggle. Tuggle actually has some room. He runs into his lineman out in front of him. But other than that, they've got some room outside, and if they can get outside on Hazelwood East, they're going to start to control this ball game.
3rd and 8. Whitworth hooked up already with Barge one time tonight. He's out wide right. The blitz is there, and they've brought him down. A hard hit as Quentin Winston, a 6'2 sophomore, brought him down for Hazelwood East. Big hit from the right side, his blind side.
Yeah, Whitworth can't take too many of these. The blind side, he's got to throw that ball because Quentin Winston is coming 100 miles an hour and just unloads on him. They're just going to try to roll the pocket to get him some time, but he's got to either throw the ball or turn it up and run. He was going to try to look backside, but you can't do that. Hazelwood East is just too fast, especially when they're blitzing Quentin Winston, their outside backer.
Matt Jones will kick it away. He stands on his 36, and this will go out of bounds somewhere. They hope. That was the idea. Ray is there, fields it, bobbles it. Blue Springs has it. Blue Springs has it. Bobbled by Ray. Blease picked it up.
Critical error for Hazelwood East. But Darnell Ray, watch how nonchalant he is. He waits for the fair catch, and then he, instead of squaring up on the ball like you're taught, he catches it sideways or tries to catch it sideways, and it just bounces out. Those are the types of things you can't have in a game of this magnitude. Can't have penalties and turnovers. They're all magnified, especially if Blue Springs can turn this into points.
1st and 10 on the 17 for Blue Springs. They were the champions in 1992, looking for their 2nd state title in school history. 2:28 to go in our first quarter. They lead it 7-0. On in motion. They want to throw the football. Flag down on the play. Probably a holding, as Whitworth couldn't find anybody open as a flag came away. Winston again in on the tackle. That'll go against Blue Springs. This will go against Blue Springs.
It was just the center right before the snap. He kind of flinched a little bit, and they're going to get you every time for that. I'll tell you, Hazelwood East defensively, they played very well throughout the playoffs. They've been put in some adverse situations so far in this first quarter. They've held pretty tight except for the one big play, but they've got to come up big.
Tuggle, the lone man in the backfield. He gets the pitch, has a huge hole up the middle, and is brought down at the 20, close to the original line of scrimmage. Winston again in on the tackle for Hazelwood East. He's been all over the place.
And this is a toss power. It's made to look like it's a sweep, but really it's an inside play. And you see, as soon as Tuggle gets it, he's heading straight up the field. They're hoping to get the flow of those linebackers going outside, and then he can cut back inside of them.
Second down and 12, ball on the 19 for Blue Springs. Tuggle in motion out of the backfield. They stack it to the right side. Whitworth is going to carry it himself. Has a block near a first down inside the 5. First and 10, goal to go. Whitworth brought him down along with David Richard.
What a great call. And excellent blocking again. Watch these guys outside as well as the wide receiver. Tuggle up top, and you can see it's just a design quarterback keep. But look at all the blockers out in front of him, and they don't stop. They keep coming downfield. You can see the lineman Warrenbach downfield. Watch number 55. He's going to be coming right at you, and he's not going to stop. Just a great job of running downfield by Blue Springs, and you can see all those white jerseys downfield leading the way.
Ball on the 4. Pitch towards the left side. It's going to be strung out, but keeping his feet is Tuggle, and close to the original line of scrimmage. Williams and Winston in on the tackles. Justin Whitworth, the quarterback for Blue Springs, by the way, has 71 rushes on the year and 140 yards, so he can run the football, but certainly a better passer when you throw for over 2,000 yards.
Exactly, and a bit of a trick play on that last run. They put Curtis Cooper under center. He was actually the guy that ran around the corner. He's a wide receiver.
Vaughn in motion. A loss of 2. Fowler in on the tackle. 6-foot senior nose guard.
This is what Blue Springs wants to do. They want to turn it into an inside running game. This doesn't get very much. Hazelwood East gets upfield, but what they hope is that they're going to start to wear this defense down, and you can see they're on their knees already, sucking a little air. That's Rocky Fowler right there, but they hope that in the second half, the third and the fourth quarter, those big offensive linemen who average 250 pounds are going to start to really handle the line of scrimmage.
A difference of 1 second, the play clock and the game clock. It's running down. Now flags on the play. Third and goal to go from the 6. It started on the 4. With Blue Springs up 7-0. And this is the second penalty that goes against Blue Springs. You're thinking about the kicking game for Blue Springs. Danny Watkins is their place kicker. His longest was 36 yards. And he was 11 of 14 in the field goal department this year.
You can see how critical penalties are, especially in the red zone when you're trying to score points. Instead of 3rd and 6, now you're 3rd and 11. It's a lot tougher to make 11 yards than it is 6.
That'll end the first quarter. And when we come back, the ball will rest on the 11-yard line. 3rd and goal to go. 7-0. Blue Springs up after 1 quarter of play.
Free to move about the country.
Over 1,000 slate pool tables begin arriving at Watson's this weekend. New distressed and factory closeout tables at up to 50% off. 2-piece cues, bar stools, air hockey, foosball, and game tables at incredible savings. 12 months same as cash. Factory direct savings at Watson's.
Tonight at 10, it's the Midwest Sports Report.
Oh, baby, I don't believe it!
It's the nightly newscast you've been waiting for.
This is the real deal.
30 minutes every night dedicated to scores, highlights, and interviews from your hometown teams.
We told you it was going to be good.
Your teams, your town, your show. The Midwest Sports Report, tonight at 10 on Fox Sports Net.
Oklahoma State faces a Sooners squad marching towards a repeat title run. College football Saturday on Fox Sports Net, presented by Kyocera tomorrow.
Start of the second quarter, it's 7-0 Blue Springs. As we welcome you back to the state championship game on Fox Sports Net. J.C. Pearson alongside. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Brent Stover is our third member of our team covering this game on Fox Sports Net. We check in with Brent. Brent?
Well, guys, if there was ever a perfect time for defensive stop, this is it for Hazelwood East. Even if Blue Springs gets the field goal, you got to count it as a moral victory. Moments ago, quarterback Dwayne Buchanan came off the field for East, and some of his players were very silent, but a few of them were bickering over on the sideline. He said, shut up and play. Just shut up and play. Not a big deal. Still first half, plenty of time for this team. Certainly they aren't used to being down.
Think about this, Brent. Hazelwood East, this entire season, they gave up a total of 59 points. That's just a little under 5 a game. And already they're down in this game 7-0. That's hard to believe, JC.
That's an unbelievable stat. But like you said, they're not accustomed to being behind. And as Brent said, there was already some bickering starting on the sidelines. If Blue Springs can get some more points right now, they can really put some pressure on Hazelwood East.
Well, we've got no time on the clock. We had a penalty to end the first quarter, so I'm assuming that they'll run this play and then we'll switch ends and they'll put the fresh 12 up on the clock. Third down, ball on the 11. We're going to spread the offense a little bit here for Blue Springs. Whitworth wants to throw the football. Pump fake, knocked out of his hands, and it's picked up, then lost, then recovered again by Hazelwood East. What a big play, a big defensive stand. Fowler was in there for the Spartans.
That's why this defense has been so good all year long. They come up with big plays. You can see Whitworth is going to pump. He's looking for the slant and go up top. But he's got to get rid of that football. Rocky Fowler just overpowers the center, punches the ball out of there, and even recovers it himself. That's a guy that really wants to make something happen. You can see, great job of just getting that left arm in there, punching the ball out, and then makes the recovery. Huge play for Hazelwood East. Defensively, that really turns the momentum back in their favor.
Huge play there. Rocky Fowler, the 6-foot senior nose guard, was in on the strip and then recovered the football. So a big play there for Hazelwood East, and just a momentum change right there for the Spartans.
Oh, that was huge for Hazelwood East. You know, big-time players show up in big-time games, and that was a big-time play by Rocky Fowler, because if Blue Springs even gets 3 points on the board and is up by 10 points, Hazelwood East probably starts to press.
Corey Johnson in his first season with the Spartans of Hazelwood East. What did he tell his team before tonight's ball game? A state championship game.
When you get to this point, it's just a sense of go out and play your best game and be excited and be happy and just leave it all out on the field. That's the main thing. When you get to this point, there is no tomorrow. This is the last game. This is what all of these young men have worked for on both teams. So go out with all your excitement and the best that you have inside of you and let it out on the field.
Corey Johnson, head coach of the Spartans of Hazelwood East. They come in ranked nationally and #1 in the state. Stuffed on that play to be 2nd down and 10, and they trail 7-0 here in the second quarter.
And you know, he's absolutely right. This is what all the two-a-days were for, all the weightlifting, all the extra running. It was all for this game, and this is the Show Me Bowl, and all the talking is over with. It doesn't matter what you did prior to today. You better show something today if you want to be a champion.
Buchanan has been quiet so far. Over 1,300 yards passing and 20 touchdowns this past year. He's going to throw it here. There's pressure, and he's brought down yet again. Troy Pike with the sack. They have not picked up any of the blitzes of the Wildcats.
And the problem is they're not running anything quick. No blitz adjustments. The wide receivers are running deep downfield, and Blue Springs is blitzing. And you can see Pike right here. He's unblocked again off the corner, and Buchanan just doesn't have time to set up. And that was what they got from watching film of Hazelwood East. They take a long time to throw the ball. If you're Hazelwood East, you've got to shorten those routes. Start running some three-step drops, not allow the blitz to get to you, because they're playing man-to-man outside, and they've got some room.
3rd down and 18 with the ball resting on the 15-yard line of Hazelwood East. Play clock is down to 5. They better hurry up. Buchanan has to get it off quick. Down to 2, and now a whistle blows it dead. With 10:22, a stoppage in play here in our second quarter. And a timeout looks like it was taken. Yes, it was, by the Spartans of Hazelwood East. Their first timeout that they have used here tonight in the state championship game. The play clock was down to 2 seconds, and they were not going to get that away. Well, Corey Johnson is trying to make it a state championship for the 3rd time in Hazelwood East history. It's been a dream season so far.
It's just been a great season. I'm really proud of our players, how they withstood. And it's been difficult at times to actually come out every week knowing that you're going to get your opponent's very, very best. But our guys have really stayed focused and maintained week in and week out and persevered, especially through the playoffs. So I'm really proud of our guys.
In the playoffs, wins over SLU, Webster Groves, and Jackson. Brent Stover, what do you have?
Well, big play capabilities for Hazelwood East. They're down 7-0. The offense has struggled so far, but keep this in mind. In the semifinal win over Jackson, they had 3 touchdowns. All 3 touchdowns came on plays of 45 yards or more. They have 2 great receivers in Brandon Williams and Brandon Massey. Those guys have 49 catches between them. So this team can get back into a game very quick. Guys?
Both Massey and Williams are Division I recruits, looking at Wisconsin, Iowa, Kansas State, Missouri, just to name a few. Man in motion. That's Williams. Buchanan. And a fumble. Ball on the ground. And it looks like Hazelwood East has recovered it. And they have big number 77 recovered it. Robert Taylor was in there to strip it.
And they dodge another bullet. They run the option, and Buchanan just doesn't secure the ball. You see the ball hanging out there like a loaf of bread, and Robert Taylor just does a good job of punching the ball out. Hazelwood East is able to recover it, but they dodge another bullet. They can't continue to do that. They're shooting themselves in the foot.
Lorenzo Nichols recovered that. Another short little pooch kick taken on the ground at the 45. Avoiding one man, has some room. And down near inside the 30-yard line. A good return there for Blue Springs. The quick man, Curtis Cooper there. A return of 20. Blue Springs up 7-0.
It's the Girl Loses Kingdom, Hero Fights Villain, Boy Saves the Day motion picture. Never before seen on television. Star Wars The Phantom Menace, plus a sneak peek at the StarWars.com documentary R2-D2 Beneath the Dome. Sunday on Fox.
Introducing the best damn sports show, period. It's 90 minutes of comedy, commentary, and all the scores and highlights you can possibly stand.
It's not sex, but it's close.
Weeknights at 7:30 and 11:30 on Fox Sports.
Mark Sports, Overland Park.
Don't be fooled.
Many prepaid home phone companies are offering what look like deals up front. But compared to the pager company, the monthly savings just don't add up.
Don't be fooled.
Their discounts for Medicare, SSI, food stamps, and other Lifeline eligible customers, nothing. Ours,
don't be fooled.
Their repair department, our repair department.
Don't be fooled.
Their customer service, our customer service.
Don't be fooled.
Call the pager company today for the most affordable prepaid phone service available. Call 816-472-4377.
Blue Springs with the football in Hazelwood East territory, and they have the lead 7-0. For those of you tuning in to see the best sports show period at this time, will not be seen tonight, obviously, due to our game. Tune in weeknights right here at 7:30 on Fox Sports Net for the best sports show period on Fox Net. And the pitch goes to Tuggle. Picks up maybe 4 on the play, down near the 25, brought down by Crowder.
See, Blue Springs, they want to just run it straight ahead, power football. The fullback, Joey Vaughn, number 40, does a great job of leading Tuggle through the hole and getting a helmet on the linebacker. He's the key to their running game. Big, strong, bruising fullback, lead blocker type.
Tuggle with 9 carries and 24 yards on the night. It's been through the air that's been the damage for Blue Springs. A 40-yard touchdown pass to Josh Barge. And the pitch again to Tuggle, and he's strung out. Gets back close to the original line of scrimmage. That'll bring up a 3rd down and probably 6 on the next down.
Hazelwood East, they're starting to blitz now too. You can see George Love come from the right side of your screen right there, and he's unblocked. They're able to come and make the tackle on Tuggle, but they're going to try to give Blue Springs some of their own medicine, see if they can get some guys free off the edge and make some big plays for them defensively.
Blease and Mayfield out wide right. Barge to the top of your screen. 7-0 Blue Springs. And the pitch again. Close to a 1st down. He's got a 1st down. Inside the 15, knocked out of bounds. That was again the 6'1 junior Andrew Tuggle. The first team All-State selection from a year ago, and he's starting to pick up the yardage in this game.
And they're able to get outside on Hazelwood East by running the option. You can see Whitworth, good decision again, just pitches it quick to Tuggle and lets him use his speed to get outside. But the key to this play is the wide receivers look downfield. Those guys are blocking a hat on a hat down there. That's Blease and Mayfield that's occupying the defensive backs and giving Tuggle a lot of room to run.
1st and 10, ball on the 13 in Blue Springs. 2nd time deep in Hazelwood territory. And off to the big fullback, Joey Vaughn, and picks up maybe 1 on the play. 6'1", 200-pound fullback, just a junior, along with Tuggle in that backfield. Both are just juniors. Look at Kelly Donahoe, 2nd year at Blue Springs. Champs in 92. Hazelwood East was the state champs in 89 and 95.
Goal line.
2nd and 8. Tuggle the only man in the backfield. Roll out left side, little option. Whitworth keeps it himself near the pylon, and he's in. A touchdown for the quarterback, Justin Whitworth. Shockingly, the Wildcats add to their lead. 11-yard touchdown run for Justin Whitworth, the 6'1 senior, leading the offensive charge.
Another great decision by Whitworth. Instead of pitching it, he just keeps it and follows his big offensive lineman. But what they're doing, they're confusing Hazelwood East right now with different formations. Hazelwood East is not getting the force right because of the formation changes. They're going trips, double tight, and really confusing Hazelwood East.
Troutman with the point after. And the kick is up, and it's good. 14-0, folks. Blue Springs out of Kansas City. They weren't even supposed to be in this game, and they lead it by 2 touchdowns.
And look at the formation to the left side. They just have trips over there. And Hazelwood East, they're confused. They don't know on the option who's supposed to take the pitch man and who's supposed to take the quarterback. And Whitworth does a great job of making the right decision. You can see he just follows his big lineman out there, Robert Taylor, and there's nobody outside to take the quarterback.
The reaction of the head coach, yeah, he loves it. 14-0.
And you see, he didn't believe he was that wide open either. And he said, yeah, just take it on in. And Blue Springs goes up 14-0. They're really going to put a lot of pressure now on Hazelwood East. Hazelwood East is not accustomed to playing from behind.
Right. The 4th touchdown on the ground this season for the quarterback. Brent Stover, what do you have?
Hey, what, this isn't the first time that these two head coaches have met. In fact, back in 1989, Kelly Donahoe was a senior quarterback for KU, and a freshman running back by the name of Corey Johnson was on Oklahoma's team. The final result that day, Oklahoma 70, Kansas nothing. Perhaps a chance for a little bit of redemption for Coach Donahoe here 12 years later. Dan?
I bet he remembers that.
I'm sure they both do.
Why not, right? Here is Darnell Ray. Across the 25 and brought down near the 29 or 30-yard line, and that's where Hazelwood East will take over 1st and 10, deep in their own territory. And folks, they are trailing 14-0. This time, Whitworth does it himself, 11 yards. 14-0, Blue Springs on top.
Seduction can take many forms. Feast your eyes on the newest. Meet the Chrysler PT Cruiser Touring Edition. Brilliantly engineered, beautifully designed, and equipped with plenty of enticing standard features. And it's all yours for just $19,305. Sounds pretty tempting, huh? The Chrysler PT Cruiser Touring Edition. It's waiting. Available now at your local Chrysler dealer.
When we were deciding where to build this plant, we wanted quality of life and plenty of electric power. This area is real nice, but the electric co-op is pretty small. Not a problem. They're part of this group of over 500 co-ops nationwide, Touchstone Energy. Our co-op worked with us to make sure we got the right power and the right price. So we built the plant, and we get to live here.
And we shine as one.
Those must have been some cookies you left, Santa.
I didn't leave them cookies. I left them cheese.
Ah, the power of cheese.
Second quarter, 7:23 to play in our first half. Blue Springs with a shocker. They're up 14-0. How have they done it? 5 plays, 72 yards, a minute 54. That's all it took. Whitworth to Barge, 40 yards there, and it was 6-0 Blue Springs on top. Extra point was good. Then Whitworth, the quarterback, would take it himself 11 yards. This made it 14-0 with the extra point, and that's where we stand. Blue Springs, the Wildcats have the lead. Hazelwood East will have it second down after a running plays. We get a look at the quarterback, Whitworth. It'll be second down and 8, ball on the 32 after a running play up the middle was stuffed for a gain of just 2. You surprised, JC?
Oh, no question about it. I think everyone here is surprised that Blue Springs is out 14-0. Hazelwood East, they just can't panic right now. There's a lot of time left in the ball game. They just need to stick to their game plan.
Josh Barge looked like he was a little banged up on a defensive play earlier in this game. Brent Stover is checking in with an injury update. Brent?
And bad news for Blue Springs. Josh Barge has a sprained right knee. Came into this game with 60 catches, caught the big touchdown early in the game. He is doubtful to return again with a sprained right knee.
That is not good news, obviously, for Blue Springs. When you talk about Barge offensively, 60 receptions on the year, over 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns coming into this game. Third down and 8, ball on the 32 for Hazelwood East. They've yet to pick up any of the blitzes of Blue Springs. They want to throw, they pick it up that time. But Buchanan can't do anything. Knocked out of bounds. Pennington was in there for Blue Springs.
I tell you, Blue Springs is bringing the heat. Watch number 20, Ringwood, come inside and then just unload right there on Richards. But what that does, when you blitz inside, the quarterback sees that and he feels it. That made him roll out, and once he's on the run, he has no time to look downfield.
Speedster, 4.4 speed, Curtis Cooper back deep to receive. We've seen a couple of bad snaps by Hazelwood East on punts. Cooper standing on his own 38. They came after it. Cooper will have a chance to return it. At the 40, flag is down. Looks like we may have a roughing the kicker. Cooper nearly lost the football, and he's brought down at the 40. Let's see what this call is going to be. Flags deep where that kick took place. That was near the 15 or 16 yard line for Hazelwood East, as the kicker went sprawling.
You can see they lay out, they try to get the kick, but you've got to avoid the kicker. I don't think that's going to be a rough. That's going to be a running into the kicker, which is only a 5-yard penalty. Not going to be enough to give Hazelwood East the first down. But you've got to avoid that kicker at all costs. If you can't get to the ball, you've got to get away from it.
And that's exactly what has taken place. So Blue Springs will have it 1st and 10. Brian Trouterman is the punter for Hazelwood East. That's as good as any pro would act.
And all those punters, I guess they watch each other, because anytime they get just brushed,
they're down.
They fall down. It's, you know, big drama scene.
Hurt knees, hurt foot.
Whiplash and the whole 9 yards.
So here it is for Blue Springs, 1st and 10, ball on the 41. Without Barge. It's a little trick play, and they've got a man wide open. Cooper, he's got it at the 15-5, touchdown Blue Springs. Wow. What a play. What a call. Curtis Cooper, the 5'11 senior, hauled it in.
You got to like their aggressiveness. They're going after it. They know this is for all the marbles, and they're bringing out all the stops. Great call. No one expected a trick play, and that's the best time to run them, when nobody's expecting them.
A chance to go up 21-0 for Blue Springs. A shocker here at the Dome. Wow. And again, I think we should reiterate it. Hazelwood East had only given up 59 points all season. And we're just midway through the 2nd quarter. And with the extra point being good, it's 21-0. Watkins on for the extra point, and it's good. He splits the uprights. 21-0 for the team out of Kansas City. They're saying we're undefeated too, and people have forgotten about us.
And what a great call. But you see, the Matt Rowe over there, you don't see him. He stopped on the play. He's the guy that has coverage. And B.J. Cole comes from the other side of the field. Cooper does a great job of just running down the field. And you can see Matt Rowe, he just bites on the reverse, and there's nobody out there. Cooper just runs straight down the field, and a great throw for another touchdown. And this is when it gets fun, Dan. Look at Kelly Donahoe. They go up by 3 touchdowns, especially on a trick play. You get in the end zone, and it is a great feeling. And I tell you, those guys right now are playing with a lot of confidence. When you're up 21-0 in the state championship, that's when it really gets fun. And
this is the most points they have given up all season in any one contest. Riverview Gardens, that was a win for Hazelwood East. They won 49-20. And tonight, they're down 21-0 before they even knew what hit them. And a deep kick be taken at the goal line. And it'll be a touchback by Darnell Ray of Hazelwood East. 21-0, Blue Springs with the lead. One play, a 59-yard pass. It took 9 seconds. Well, they've had some big plays in their run to the title game. One play, 59 yards, just 9 seconds. Curtis Cooper, 59-yard touchdown reception. Blue Springs, let's flash back to the quarterfinals. And this was Rockhurst. Pretty similar, huh?
Very similar. Matt Rowe on a big play, and then they come back later in the game to Josh Barge on the go route for another touchdown. And big win for Blue Springs.
They beat Rockhurst twice this season. Hazelwood East trying to counter. They need to get their specialty guys going, their speedsters. That's Brandon Williams with his 30th catch this season, brought down by Jeff Troy, the free safety.
And now they finally figure it out. You've got to go to the 3-step drop, throw the ball quick, because there's room outside. They just run the slant to Brandon Williams. He's going to have room out there in front of those cornerbacks. But what the 3-step drop does, it doesn't allow the blitz of Blue Springs to get to the quarterback, Buchanan.
They beat Rockhurst early on, the second game of the season. Then in the quarterfinals, they won 31-16. Another three-step drop, and this time Buchanan is dropped. Brought down by Troy Pike, the senior from the right side. Linebacker came flying in for the tackle.
Great job of coverage outside also. The defensive backs are in press coverage. They want to run that three-step slant, but there's nobody there. And again, you see Pike coming off the corner, unblocked. You've got to drop back 1, 2, 3, and that ball either has to be gone or you've got to turn it straight up because they're bringing the heat from the outside.
Loss of 1 on the play. Ball will rest on the 31. 2nd down and 11. 2 men in the backfield. That will be for a little blocking as they come again, and they cannot pick it up again. Another sack. And this time it was Witherspoon in there along with Ringwood. Ringwood 90 tackles this year. Witherspoon 5 tackles tonight, and a timeout taken by the quarterback Dwayne Buchanan. He's not happy.
And their protection is just breaking down. You can see that Blue Springs, it's just a jailbreak. Everybody is coming forward and they're just running through the seams. You can see Pike again coming off the corner, but watch Ringwood also inside unblocked right there, as well as Witherspoon. Those are the 2 inside linebackers. Nobody's picking them up, and you can see Buchanan showing a lot of frustration, a lot of anger right there. Hazelwood East, their blocking scheme is just not picking up the zone blitz from Blue Springs.
You need to see the confidence right now for Blue Springs.
Oh, no question about it, and the frustration on Hazelwood East.
Kelly Donahoe in his 2nd year for the Wildcats has this mark at 13-0 coming into tonight's action. Hazelwood East ranked nationally and #1 in the state. They're down 21-0. Corey Johnson, not a happy man, the head coach of the Spartans.
He's just trying to settle his troops down, saying, hey, we've got a long ways to go in this ball game. Let's just do what we do best. Let's settle down and let's play some football. But when you're not accustomed to being behind and now you're down 21 points in the biggest game of your life, those kids right now, I'm sure, are starting to press.
Brent Stover, what do you have for us?
Well, we talked a lot with Coach Kelly Donahoe earlier today about his offense, but he said, please, I want to talk about my defense. They've got that 4-4 attacking scheme, and he loves his linebackers, Witherspoon, Byron, Ringwood. They're very good, and they're really strutting their stuff so far. Dan?
Whittington, 90 tackles. He's been outstanding this year, and they want to throw the football, and Buchanan brought down again. This time, Brad Davidson joins in the fun for Blue Springs, and Hazelwood East will have to punt it away.
And nothing is working right now for Hazelwood East. They try to go to the shotgun to buy more time, but it doesn't work. You can see he's got to make a decision to get rid of that ball because they are bringing the heat, and this time they bring Davidson from the inside again, and they're just not blocking right now. They've got to shore up that blocking on the offensive line and zone and protect from the inside out so that Buchanan can step up in the pocket and throw the ball.
Now whistle on the field. Trouterman will kick it away to Cooper. He was the last man that had a touchdown for Blue Springs on a little trick play. 59 yards. We talk about the Hazelwood East speed. What about the speed of Blue Springs? Underrated, to say the least.
No question, and that's why they had that chip on their shoulder coming in. They were the fastest team in Kansas City, but everyone was talking about the team speed of Hazelwood East and all their Division I prospects. Blue Springs, they didn't say anything. They just kept it all to themselves, and they just exploded in this first half.
4:16 to play in our first half. A punting situation for the Spartans of Hazelwood East. Corey Johnson just trying to figure out how to block the house. I mean, they're sending everybody in there.
They're sending everyone there. They've just got to protect from the inside out because those guys are blitzing from the inside right in Buchanan's face. If they can solidify the inside, he can step up from those outside blitzers and possibly throw some balls downfield.
Their defense deserves a lot of credit so far because it's allowed the offense to have good field position, and they'll have it again as Cooper stands at midfield. The kick is away, high end over end, fair catch called at the 45, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Blue Springs and a chance to add to their 3-touchdown lead. They've done it by the air twice and once on the ground. This one, a little flea flicker. Fleece to Cooper. Bye-bye. 21-0 Blue Springs.
Center to Pronger. Oh, Patty! Come on. Great move. Shoot it, McInnes. He scores! Yeah!
Come on and feel the love for the guys.
Introducing the best damn sports show, period.
Here are the rules. There are no rules.
A three-ring circus of ex-jocks and comedians where anything goes.
Hey, Mike, better load up on the Michael Jordan clone because the Wizards stink.
It's 90 minutes of comedy, commentary,
Michael Jordan is still the best player in the NBA.
and all the scores and highlights you can possibly stand.
It's not sex, but it's close.
Weeknights at 7:30 and 11:30 on Fox Sports Net.
Want a nut? Hey, want some nuts?
NFL This Morning. It's the pregame show that's not really a pregame show. It's Sundays at 9 on Fox Sports Net.
Blue Springs on top by the score of 21-0. Just a little bit over 4 minutes to play in our first half. Coming up after the game, it's the Midwest Sports Report. Complete high school football playoff recap. Post-game reaction from not only this game, but the Blues game in Detroit. Kevin Slate and the Kings sounds off. Only here on Fox Sports Net, the Midwest Sports Report. Seen nightly right here at 10 o'clock. First and 10 for Blue Springs. A chance to add to their 3-touchdown lead. Handoff to Tuggle. Bounces it left side. Picks up one on the play. And the clock will continue to run. And I would assume that Blue Springs would like to keep it on the ground and make sure that this clock is continuing to run. Brent Stover, where do we find you?
Well, I'm on the Hazelwood East sideline, and right now they are scratching their heads. One East assistant perhaps summed it up best a moment ago, saying, evidently we don't have enough guys to block their guys. And certainly they are having a little bit of trouble figuring out all the different schemes that Blue Springs is putting up offensively. And so far it's been all Springs, as you can see. Dan?
Second down and 9 for Blue Springs. It's gotten worse as this has gone along this first half for the offense of Hazelwood East.
And if that's all they can come up with is we don't have enough guys to block their guys, they're in a lot of trouble.
Absolutely. A little play action, and now Hazelwood East, a little medicine back at Blue Springs. George Love, linebacker, brought him down. And a loss of 7 on the play. 3rd and 14 now.
That's what they've got to do. They've got to give Blue Springs some of their own medicine. You can see the guys blitzing off the corner. And George Love, the safety, does a good job being unblocked and making the tackle, but they've got to come up with a big play defensively. They've got to force a turnover, maybe take it to the house, but they've got to do something to try to get back in this ball game.
Remember Josh Barge, who had the first touchdown reception, not in the game. He's out with a sore knee. 2 men out wide right, one to the top of your screen. Whitworth under center. They'll run the option. And he keeps it himself, and he is met rudely by a host of Hazelwood East Spartans. And for the first time in quite some time, Blue Springs will have to punt it away. Whittington brought him down, along with Winston.
Hazelwood East does a good job. You can see how wide they are defensively, and now they've got a guy on the pitch man, and then they've got a guy on the quarterback also. You see 4 or 5 purple jerseys rallying around the ball. That's the way they play defense. They want to use their speed and try to rally to the football. They've just got to try to get that ball out, create a turnover somehow.
Whittington, part of that last play. As I mentioned before, over 90 tackles coming into tonight's ball game. So Blue Springs will have to punt it away in some way, somehow. Hazelwood East has got to try to get the ball in their skilled positions hands. They've got that great speed, but they've not been able to set up and throw the football, run the football, anything here tonight.
They've got to max protect. Even if they go 2 tight ends and keep the running back in, they've got to do something to block this zone blitz of Blue Springs. If not, they're not going to be able to throw the ball at all.
Gray and Williams back deep to receive for the Spartans. They stand on their own 20. They're down 21-0. And the kick is away, and they kick it to Ray. He takes it at the 17. He has got some kind of speed, trying to bust it up. Almost did. He's down across the 30. Dangerous play. Why go away from the game plan of kicking to these speedsters?
And I'm sure Coach Donahoe is going to be talking to Matt Jones. You can't kick to these guys. You see how explosive they can be, and all they need is one return to get back in this ball game. Darnell Ray, the fastest player on their team, he makes one guy miss, and you can see, look at the explosion and the burst up the field, and he almost is out the gate. You can't afford to give up a big play on special teams if you're Blue Springs.
Darius Witherspoon was shaken up a bit. Number 44, Blue Springs. He seems to be all right. Trying to catch his wind, it looks like.
Yeah, that's the classic stance when you get the wind knocked out of you. They tell you to raise your hands high. Looks funny, but it's effective.
So Buchanan, who showed the frustration on the last set of downs for Hazelwood East, will take over 1st and 10. His club down by 3 touchdowns. Ball rests on the 32. And the handoff to Tony Moss. We have not called his name hardly at all here tonight. Moss and Richard, that 1-2 combination. Pike brought him down for Blue Springs.
As you said, Moss, he's one of their big play guys. They've got to get him involved. But Blue Springs, again, does a good job with that 4-4 defense. They've got linebackers playing almost at the line of scrimmage. Not a lot of room to run.
Over 1,000 yards this year for Tony Moss. Close to 1,000 for David Richard. Buchanan, for the first time in quite some time, a little time as they set up a screen trying to get it to Moss, and just out of his outstretched arms. Sniffed out pretty well by the defensive front of Blue Springs.
Very well, and that's one of the ways that you want to combat a blitzing team is to run screens, but Blue Springs, they sniffed it out. They were all over it. That play was going nowhere. You can see they try to set up the screen, but Blue Springs is all over. You see all the white jerseys outside. You know, they don't get enough credit for how fast their defense actually is, and those guys are really humming right now.
3rd and 5 for the Spartans. They pick up the blitz. Little man coverage to the right side. Little one-on-one coverage. He was going for Brandon Williams. Buchanan was, and good coverage on the play. Curtis Cooper, the 4-4 speedster.
Oh, excellent coverage. Cooper's their fastest and best cover man, and you can see he doesn't care about these guys. He's in bump coverage, and he's running stride for stride with Brandon Williams. What he does great is gets his body in front of the wide receiver and turns his head around. That way they can't call pass interference. Great technique by that young man right there.
Cooper has a 59-yard touchdown reception already here tonight in our first half. He stands on the 29. The kick is a low one, and it'll bounce to him if he wants it to. Instead, he gets away from it, and Hazelwood East will down it inside the 30-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 with 1:26 to play in our first half. So 1:26 to play in our first half. And Blue Springs a chance to add to their 21-0 lead. Justin Whitworth, a big night. 1 touchdown pass, another. He took it in by himself on the ground. The other released to Cooper on a little flea flicker to make it 21-0. Whitworth setting up a little middle screen. Dangerous pass. He was looking for Cooper. Instead, be 2nd down and 10.
Very dangerous pass. Almost a big turnover for Blue Springs, and they can't afford to do that right now. The 1:22 left in the half. They can't do this. They just try to get the middle screen right here, and he just throws it before anybody's there. And you can see he's getting tackled, but they don't call that because he's a blocker at first. Then Eric Tabb does a good job of just wrapping him up, but Blue Springs can't afford to turn it over here. Just go ahead and run the ball, run the clock out, and go in at halftime up by 3 scores.
And be happy with that. 1:22 in our first half. Whitworth, the pitch to Tuggle to the left side. He's got a blocker. He's got a 1st down. Sidesteps a man, then knocked out of bounds. at the 44-yard line, and the fans of Blue Springs did not like what they saw. It looked like a late hit maybe on that play.
But I tell you, watch the wide receiver coming from the left side of your screen. He is going to level a Hazelwood East player, and we missed it. But there's the guy on the ground, Darnell Ray. Whitworth Mayfield does a great job. We might be able to see it from this angle. We're not able to see it, but that is what allowed Tuggle to get around the corner. Great crack back, and you can see it right there. Watch this hit. Great job by the wide receiver Mayfield, cracking back on the safety who has support. Oh, and I mean, that is the way you blindside a guy.
Tuggle was almost brought down in the backfield, sidestepped a man, then got it back to the original line of scrimmage with just over a minute to play and the clock running here in our first half. George Love along with Cole in there for Hazelwood East. Now Blue Springs wants to hurry it up. Whitworth looking for a man and just over the head of Tuggle. The clock will stop with 50 seconds to play.
And I'm surprised that Blue Springs is still throwing the ball at this stage of the second quarter. Why not just be very conservative, be very safe, go in the locker room up by 3 scores? You can't afford to have that ball batted around and intercepted by Hazelwood East and possibly taken in for a score. That would really give them a lot of confidence.
Third and 9 with the ball on the 45. 50 seconds to play. Whitworth has a little time rolling out. Ooh, almost picked off a dangerous pass. Darnell Ray was sitting right there, almost playing center field, if you will, and in and out of his hands. So the Wildcats will have to punt it away, and that was dangerous.
Dangerous. Not a good series by Blue Springs. Not very smart. They're going to roll Whitworth out, but he almost throws an interception. You can see right here, Darnell Ray, if he doesn't lose his footing, he comes up with an interception, and now Hazelwood East has great field position. Not a very smart series by Blue Springs.
Coming up at the half, we'll have a check presentation. We'll also have the coaches' interviews and a look at both schools and how they got to the championship game. Brent Stover will be busy during our halftime. 46 seconds to play. Blue Springs, the Wildcats with a 3-touchdown lead, and they punt it away. Big booming kick. And that'll be taken out of bounds at the 12-yard line. Good kick as they punted it away. Matt Jones with that big booming kick.
And you can see the coach saying, that's better. That's what we want. Don't kick it down the middle of the field like you did the punt before. Kick that ball out of bounds.
21-0 here in this game, but earlier today, West Platte, a winner over Lockwood in the Class 1A championship 2013. Platte County over New Madrid in the Class 3A championship, and then Worth County beat Miami. That was last weekend, 48-40. A couple of games at the Dome tomorrow. Warsaw and John Burroughs along with Webb City and Washington. 2A and 4A tomorrow afternoon. This is the Class 5A. 39 seconds to play. Plenty of time for Buchanan. Looking left side and out of bounds was Brandon Williams. Good coverage on the play by Chris Miller.
They're not going to be very effective throwing deep because obviously Blue Springs is expecting them to throw deep. Those cornerbacks are playing 10 yards off those wide receivers. Just throw a quick hitch. Just take the ball, throw it to those guys. Those wide receivers, Brandon Williams, Brandon Massey, Darnell Ray, they've got a lot of ability once they get the ball in their hands, but right now they just can't get it to them.
Well, the Spartans came in with 2,000-yard rushers on the ground. And Richard and Moss, and those two have been quiet. Buchanan over 1,300 yards passing. He's been quiet. And Hazelwood East as a team has been quiet. Play clock down to 2, down to 1. They get it away. Here's Buchanan. Sidestepping the rush and then brought down with 25 seconds in running. That's probably the 6th or 7th sack that Blue Springs has had already tonight.
Hazelwood East, they're just trying to go downfield. They don't have time to run these deep routes because Blue Springs is bringing the heat on them and right up the gut. Buchanan has no time to set up and look downfield. They have not figured that out all game long.
And Hazelwood East content to say Let's pack it in on this first half, regroup, reset, and see what we can do in the final half of their season. They are down 21-0. They're ranked #1 in the state of Missouri. #2, though, is Blue Springs. Their head coach is Kelly Donahoe, and Brent Stover standing by with the head coach.
Well, Coach, your team was a two touchdown underdog going into this game. Are you surprised with what's taken place so far?
Not really surprised. We really felt that we could do exactly that to that quarterback. We just with all the different blitz schemes we use, and we've done a great job on defense, and we made some big plays on offense. You know, we've lost our top player, Josh Barge, to a knee injury. He got hurt after that, I think it's a touchdown, so we're without him, and we're hurt. You know, we got our fullbacks hobbled, our tugs hobbled, so we just got to suck up and play and try to control the ball here and win this thing right now, but I'm real happy with the first half.
Your boys have shut down their backfield tandem of Tony Moss and David Richard. Are you surprised with that?
No, I'm not surprised. They're great players, but we got a heck of a defense, and it hasn't got enough credit all year long. These kids play well, and they're just attacking. It's fun to watch.
Coach, best of luck second half.
Thank you very much.
That's the head coach of Blue Springs. His team up by 3 touchdowns. That's Kelly Donahoe. Dan, back up to you.
Brent, thank you very much. Well, it started 40 yards. Whitworth to Barge. That made it 7-0. Then Whitworth himself would take one in. 11 yards on that run. Then a little flea flicker. 59 yards. Blaze to Cooper. Folks, it's a shocker. 21-0. Blue Springs.
When we were deciding where to build this plant, we wanted quality of life and plenty of electric power. This area is real nice, but the electric co-op is pretty small. Not a problem. They're part of this group of over 500 co-ops nationwide, Touchstone Energy. Our co-op worked with us to make sure we got the right power and the right price. So we built the plant, and we get to live here.
And we shine as one.
Seduction can take many forms. Feast your eyes on the newest. Meet the Chrysler PT Cruiser Touring Edition. Brilliantly engineered, beautifully designed, and equipped with plenty of enticing standard features. And it's all yours for just $19,305. Sounds pretty tempting, huh? The Chrysler PT Cruiser Touring Edition. It's waiting. Available now at your local Chrysler dealer.
Pizza Hut announces us versus them. Them are the pizzas that skimp on toppings. Us is Pizza Hut, the people that load them on, like on our new Ultimate Pepperoni Lovers Pizza, bulging with not 1, but 2 layers of zesty pepperoni, and now with 6 kinds of cheese. Them never heard of that much cheese. For pepperoni pizza perfection like this, 2 layers of pepperoni and 6 kinds of cheese. It's not $12.99, it's just $8.99. $8.99. The new Ultimate Pepperoni Lovers Pizza, only at us, Pizza Hut.
You're watching the Show Me Bowl on Fox Sports Net, the state championship game, 2001 version. Blue Springs and Hazelwood East, 2 undefeated teams in the state. Blue Springs surprisingly on top. Brent Stover takes a look at how they got to the state championship game.
Second-year head coach Kelly Donahoe challenged his team in August to stay grounded and remain level-headed, though his Wildcats were projected to do big things. His team responded, and now they're right where they wanted to be.
It's a tremendous effort from August 6th to get to this point. You know, tremendous amount of hours, tremendous amount of running, tremendous amount of hitting, a lot of soreness. But it's awfully rewarding if you can get to this point.
Helping them get to this point has been an amazing support structure from the community of Blue Springs.
It's a great place to be because it's a very supportive community in terms of the things we want to accomplish around here. We get tremendous parent support, tremendous community support from businesses, and it makes it fun to coach in a place like this.
Well, the kids in the school are great. I mean, no matter where we go, we have just support from whoever they are, the band, everyone.
The Wildcats have taken care of business all season long, knocking off defending state champion Rockhurst not once, but twice. In fact, so far, everything has gone according to plan.
Everybody thought we were going to be a really good football team in the top 2 or 3, you know, with the Rocks and Liberties and Oak Parks and those kind of schools. And we feel like we have. Our message was to improve, be relentless. We think we put our kids in positions to be successful in all phases of our game.
They're conference champs, district champs, and state champs. And, you know, we've accomplished every goal so far. Just go out and get this one, and it'll be complete.
The school's only state title came back in 1992. Getting back there has been a dream come true for the boys from Kansas City.
For
what's this, 8 years in football, all I've wanted is state championship. Ever since the '92 team won, I watched that. I started playing football the very next year and wanted to play in the state championship and win it.
Well, the head coach, 34-year-old Kelly Donahoe, asked to be happy with what he's seen so far. His club up 21-0. A look at Hazelwood East when we come back.
Hurry into Foot Locker now for our buy one, get one half off sale. Buy anything you want, even stuff already on sale. Then pick out a second item for half off. How easy is that? We're talking huge discounts on every Foot Locker, Lady Foot Locker, and Kids Foot Locker, and in all the top brands. I mean, talk about something to give thanks for. Just remember, it's only for this weekend. That means sale ends soon, people. Hurry into the buy one, get one half off sale today at Foot Locker. Come and get it.
Kickers, you got to keep them in their place, Warren. Timmy, go bye-bye.
Fox NFL Sunday, this week, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Come on and feel the love for the guys.
Introducing the best damn sports show, period.
Here are the rules. There are no rules.
A three-ring circus of ex-jocks and comedians where anything goes.
Hey, Mike, better load up on the Michael Jordan cologne because the Wizards stink.
It's 90 minutes of comedy, commentary.
Michael Jordan is still the best player in the NBA.
And all the scores and highlights you can possibly stand.
It's not sex, but it's close.
Weeknights at 7:30 and 11:30 on Fox Sports Net.
Halftime and a shocker. Number 2 on top of number 1. Blue Springs leading Hazelwood East by the score of 21-0. Brent Stover standing by with a special guest. Brent?
Okay, Dan, thanks very much. I am joined by Warren Gieselman of Chrysler and Becky Oakes of Misha. Take it away.
Becky, on behalf of the Chrysler dealers, we're happy to present you this check for our involvement with the Missouri High School Association. We very much enjoy being a participant with you.
We appreciate that. This is one of the things that helps make high school sports across our state and right here in St. Louis with the Show Me Bowl so exciting. There's nothing better than high school championships, and we appreciate your involvement.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your involvement. A nice check there and a great game going here at halftime. Now back to you, Dan.
And Brent, it's a surprising great game, to say the least. 21-0 Blue Springs with the lead. A look at Hazelwood East when we come back. It's the Show Me Bowl on Fox Sports Net.
The football-rich tradition at Hazelwood East has been marked by 2 state titles. The first coming in 1989, the second coming in 95.
Well, these guys do understand a great sense of what has come before them and what has been built before them, and they really work to try to uphold and keep the tradition up for the future classes to come through.
This senior class has lost only 4 times, but they've never made it this far. And to this point, it's been a magical season.
Just getting to this point has been a great accomplishment to these guys because it's a great deal further than they've ever been in their high school career, despite being very successful every year.
A lot of top Division I players didn't get a chance to make it this far, and we got a quality football program, and for us to be a part of this right now, I mean, it's special.
When the Spartans set their sights on a state championship in August, they knew they had a deep core of talent, but didn't know just how well this handful of some of the state's best athletes and first-year head coach Corey Johnson would mesh together.
Beginning of the year, we had a lot of high expectations for us, you know, with our new year coach coming in. We have a lot of talent on this team, you know. I think the main thing, we didn't want to let Coach Johnson down. You know, it was high expectations for him coming in.
Johnson and his team have delivered, and someday they'll look back and realize the part they played in the story of Hazelwood East high school football.
To be honest with you, at this point, I haven't had time to reflect on it or enjoy it. Hopefully, if things go well on Friday and we're able to be successful, we'll be able to get the opportunity afterwards and take the time afterwards to sit back and enjoy and reflect.
Brent Stover, good job as always. We're at halftime of the Show Me Bowl. It's 21-0. Blue Springs out of Kansas City, using every kind of play on the ground and through the air. That's Mr. Cooper, 59 yards, 21-0.
When we were deciding where to build this plant, we wanted quality of life and plenty of electric power. This area is real nice, but the electric co-op is pretty small. Not a problem. They're part of this group of over 500 co-ops nationwide, Touchstone Energy. Our co-op worked with us to make sure we got the right power and the right price. So we built the plant, and we get to live here.
And we shine as one.
This is the secret shopper. I just told Wilson about an incredible deal from Landmark Dodge. Right now, buy a new Landmark Dodge vehicle and take home a bass boat and motor at no extra charge. Choose from any new Dodge truck, van, or SUV and sail off with a bass boat and motor. Like this 2002 Dodge Ram Quad Door, loaded, now from only $19,679. So don't miss the boat. Wilson, hey Wilson, wait for me. Get to Landmark Dodge, your 5-star dealer, Nolan Road, Independence.
Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Miller.
How's the vacation planning going, Dad? Great.
Just the two of us. No kids, no house, no worries.
Change your search without using the back button. Another way Expedia makes it easy to find the trip you're looking for.
Ladies and gentlemen, Expedia.com.
Christmas season is upon us in downtown St. Louis, and that means the Show Me Bowl on Fox Sports Net. Blue Springs on top, 21-0. Brent Stover, boy, he's a busy guy these days. He has a special guest.
Thanks a lot, Dan. We are joined by Misha Board of Directors President Dennis Littrell. And Dennis, every year the Show Me Bowl is one of the most anticipated events in the state, and this year certainly is no different.
You're absolutely right. This is a very exciting time for us, and I think playing the games here in the Dome adds to that excitement. I'll tell you, there's some memories being made out here on this field. These student athletes are going to take with them for the rest of their lives and probably tell stories to their grandchildren about. But we've really enjoyed hosting the games here in the Dome for the last 6 years, and we've received a lot of compliments from our fans and from some schools about this championship series, and it's just a tremendous experience to look around at the thousands of people that are going to be here this weekend. And when you look at the business owners, the Booster Club people, parents, students, teachers, and just people from the community that come here to support their teams, it's just awesome. But I firmly believe that a successful high school activities program does more to bring a community together than any other single factor. And I just wish all the people that were at home right now watching this on TV could be here to personally experience the enthusiasm and excitement that high school championship football generates.
Now, besides this great event, how many other activities does Misha sponsor?
Well, this year alone, we're going to have over 300,000 students participating in MSHSAA-sponsored activities, and we're going to award 65 state championship trophies in 22 different programs. But I personally think more importantly are the bonds that the students are making with their teammates and their coaches, and the experience that they go through in the activities program that are going to help them be successful in life, much greater whether or not they win a state championship.
Dennis, thank you very much for your thoughts.
Okay, no problem.
That is Misha Board of Directors President Dennis Littrell here at halftime. Dan, we'll send it back upstairs to you.
Thank you, Brent. More coming up. It's halftime, 21-0. We'll take a look at some of the stats and highlights when we come back.
Seduction can take many forms. Feast your eyes on the newest. Meet the Chrysler PT Cruiser Touring Edition. Brilliantly engineered, beautifully designed, and equipped with plenty of enticing standard features. And it's all yours for just $19,305. Sounds pretty tempting, huh? The Chrysler PT Cruiser Touring Edition. It's waiting. Available now at your local Chrysler dealer.
When we were deciding where to build this plant, we wanted quality of life and plenty of electric power. This area is real nice, but the electric co-op is pretty small. Not a problem. They're part of this group of over 500 co-ops nationwide, Touchstone Energy. Our co-op worked with us to make sure we got the right power and the right price. So we built the plant, and we get to live here.
And we shine as one.
Tonight at 10, it's the Midwest Sports Report.
Baby, I don't believe it!
It's the nightly newscast you've been waiting for.
This is the real deal.
30 minutes every night dedicated to scores, highlights, and interviews from your hometown teams.
We told you it was going to be good.
Your teams, your town, your show. The Midwest Sports Report, tonight at 10 on Fox Sports Net.
Blue Springs out of Kansas City on top. They lead it 21-0 over Hazelwood East out of St. Louis. We're at halftime here at the Dome at America's Center. J.C. Pearson alongside, and I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome back to the Show Me Bowl here on Fox Sports Net. You shocked or what?
I think everyone is shocked that Blue Springs is up 21-0, but Hazelwood East, they can't block the blitz.
Exactly. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. Here's Mr. Barge getting into the action. That was the first touchdown, but they've been able to do it all kinds of ways, whether it's through the air or through the ground.
Yeah, they sure have. They've really changed up the formations, personnel, and really have Hazelwood East defensively confused.
That was the touchdown by the quarterback, little 11-yard run, Mr. Whitworth, and then a little flea flicker here. Cooper, 59 yards on this reception. He has 4.4 speed headed to Arkansas. That made it 21-0. So now, JC, the question is, if you're Hazelwood East, by the way, they have negative yardage total in that first half. How do you get going offensively?
Well, obviously, you've got to block the blitz. They have no answer right now for the blitz of Blue Springs. They've got to secure the inside. That's where they're having problems with those linebackers blitzing up the middle right in the quarterback space. They've got to solidify that.
This is the #1 team in the state. Hazelwood East down by 3 touchdowns. The second half comes your way when we come back.
Come on and feel the love for the guys.
Introducing the best damn sports show, period.
Here are the rules. There are no rules.
A 3-ring circus of ex-jocks and comedians where anything goes.
Hey, Mike, better load up on the Michael Jordan cologne because the Wizards stink.
It's 90 minutes of comedy, commentary.
Michael Jordan is still the best player in the NBA.
And all the scores and highlights you can possibly stand.
It's not sex, but it's close.
Weeknights at 7:30 and 11:30 on Fox Sports Net.
Hi, folks. Ed Parker, Champion Chrysler, half-price Jeep, Nolan Road and Independence. You want to know why Champion sells more Jeeps than anyone? It's easy. We sell them for half price. Champion has hundreds of programmed Jeeps like these, half price. Or get a programmed Grand Voyager with dual air this week, half price. Or a programmed Neon. Check it out, half price. And I'll guarantee financing. So pick up the phone and call 836-0100 or come on in and drive one home today.
Don't be fooled. Many prepaid home phone companies are offering what look like deals up front. But compared to the pager company, the monthly savings just don't add up. Don't be fooled. Their discounts for Medicare, SSI, food stamps, and other Lifeline eligible customers, nothing. Ours, don't be fooled. Their repair department, our repair department. Don't be fooled. Their customer service, our customer service. Don't be fooled. Call the pager company today for the most affordable prepaid phone service available. Call 816-472-4377.
The 2001 Show Me Bowl is brought to you by Chrysler. Chrysler knows that students are our future. Your local Chrysler Dealers Association is a proud sponsor of the Misha Show Me Bowl. And by Touchstone. Football players are part of our cooperative. The Missouri Touchstone Energy Cooperatives is a proud partner in Missouri high school activities. Beautiful night in downtown St. Louis. We're at the Dome at America's Center. The Show Me Bowl on Fox Sports Net. Blue Springs surprisingly on top by 3 touchdowns. It's 21-0 as we get set for the start of the third quarter. Brent Stover standing by with Corey Johnson.
All right, Coach, what did you tell your team in the locker room at halftime?
Well, we just got to try to forget about the first half and see if we can get back in this thing right now.
What's the #1 thing that has to happen for you guys to win this game?
Well, we got to stop giving them a short field, and we got to be able to keep their offense off the field and move the ball a little bit.
All right, good luck.
Thanks.
Head coach Corey Johnson of Hazelwood East. Dan, back upstairs to you.
Brent has got the tough job. He's got to go to Corey Johnson with his team down by 3 touchdowns and ask him what the heck is going on, Coach. But we thank Corey Johnson for stopping by. There's a look at Kelly Donahoe, the head coach of Blue Springs, and there's Mr. Johnson. 21-0 Blue Springs on top. Here's a look at the first half stats. And it's all Blue Springs. Hazelwood East has not been able to get anything going, and in particular anything going offensively in that short field that Coach Johnson talked about is a huge key as well. Touchstone Energy brings us our first half stats.
And that's because they can't block the blitz of Blue Springs. You see negative 34 rushing yards, -2 in total yardage. That's because they've lost so many yards getting sacked. But for Blue Springs, great job passing and running the ball, keeping Hazelwood East off balance right now and making big plays both offensively and defensively.
So, JC, how do you get into this? How do you get into the offense if you're Hazelwood East? What do you have to do?
Well, first you've got to be able to block the blitz, but what can help them is by throwing the ball a lot quicker. You can't take a 5- and 7-step drop with Blue Springs blitzing like they are. You've got to just take the 3-step drop, or even just take the snap and throw the quick screen to the wide receivers, because those cornerbacks are off 10 yards, so there's a lot of room out there.
Just 7 points during the playoffs they allowed, and Brent Stover has more on this second half. Brent.
I'll tell you what, Hazelwood East down by 3 touchdowns, but their student body isn't going anywhere. A big contingent of Hazelwood East fans here trying to get this team riled up. When they came out of the locker room, the fans were on their feet yelling and cheering. They're not used to their team being down, especially by this much, but they're still in this game. Dan?
Well, a couple of guys that have to get it going, Brent, as we take a look at their contingent behind their bench here at the Dome at America's Center. A couple of guys that have to get it going are David Richard and Tony Moss. There's a look at Moss, a 1,000-yard rusher, 135 carries this season. He came in averaging 8 yards a carry, but he has negative yardage after the first half.
And you're right, Dan. You've got to get those two guys involved. They're the reason why you're here in the first place. But when teams get behind, they start to panic and think the only way to catch up is to throw the ball. And that's what Hazelwood East is doing right now. They've completely forgotten about the running game and Tony Moss and David Richard.
They did not run the ball hardly at all in that first half. Richard, I can remember only having maybe 3 touches.
And you've got to continue to get those guys the ball, whether you're swinging the ball out to them on tosses or screen passes. But those are the guys that got you to this point. Don't go away from them now.
Hazelwood East will receive. Blue Springs has not trailed in a game this year, and that's the case tonight in the state championship game. Hazelwood East, remember, won the coin toss at the beginning of this contest and elected to start on defense, so they'll get the ball first. A couple of things that I thought that stood out in the interview that Brent conducted with Kelly Donahoe is the fact that number 22, Varge, will not play more than likely in the second half because of a sore knee. And then he also talked about something we didn't really see, and maybe that's a reason why at the end of the first half they threw the football a little bit more. But Andrew Tuggle is also banged up a little bit. We knew he was banged up coming in, but he's fighting that sore shoulder, and maybe it's a little worse than we expect right now.
And they can't afford to lose those two guys. Barge, of course, is out, but they've got to keep Tuggle on the field because he brings a lot to this offense, and they need that the second half.
Danny Watkins, the senior, will kick it away for Blue Springs. They're a half away from their second state title. And here come the Spartans. Brandon Williams with the football. Goes outside with it. A flag is down. It'll be 1st and 10 for Hazelwood East as Williams returned it about 12 yards. Matt Webb with the tackle for Blue Springs. A flag was down on the play, though. Williams almost busted it to the outside, didn't he?
He just takes it across the field using that speed, and he almost is able to get to the corner. But Blue Springs, again, does a great job of just keeping leverage. You can see they've come out, and they're doing some great blocking right there. That may have been the penalty right there on Darnell Ray. You've got to block above the waist on any kicks.
Brent Stover, what do you have?
Certainly first-year head coach Corey Johnson for East had to make the most inspired speech he's ever had to make as a head coach. We'll see how his team responds here in the second half. I've said it once, I'll say it another time. They aren't used to being down, let alone by 3 touchdowns. But again, they've got so many weapons. Look for a big play right off the bat here in the second half. Dan?
Let's see what the Spartans come out with. Down 21-0. Play clock down to 2. Man in motion. That is Richard. And the pitch goes to Moss, and he's brought down and met hard. Big tackle there by the linebacker, Billy Byer.
And they come out, they try to get Moss going with the toss outside. You can see Byer, great job of keeping leverage on the football, not letting Moss get outside. They know that's where he's dangerous if he can get around the corner and get upfield.
How about this? Moss, that was his 4th carry tonight. And he's averaging just a yard per carry. Came in averaging close to 9 prior to tonight's state championship game. 2nd down and 9 with the ball on the 10 for Hazelwood East. Pair of titles in 89 and 95. Play clock was at 1. They get it away. Buchanan has a little time. He's sacked again. Brought down again. He's got a split second to get rid of it, and he couldn't.
You can see Blue Springs is going to do what they did the first half, and that's bring the house. You can see right there, number 44, Witherspoon just comes around the corner, and the ball has to be gone. It's taken Hazelwood East too long to throw the ball. If a guy from the inside of the defense has time to loop all the way around the end and still make the sack on your quarterback, that means obviously he's holding the ball too long.
That was the first time you might say that was a coverage sack. Secondary did a good job at least holding it up. And Buchanan could not make a play, and now he has to take a timeout with the play clock down to 6. Well, Kelly Donahoe is on the brink of winning a state title. Remember, the last time they did it was in '92. What would it mean for Blue Springs and their community?
You know, it's every coach's, every kid's dream is to win the state championship, and it's hard to do it in Missouri. You know, you got the great Kansas City side, and then you got the St. Louis side, and in between you've always got the Kickapoos and the Jeff Cities and those schools. But it would just be unbelievable. It would just top off what's already been a magical season for us, and you know, it's exciting just to think about the opportunity. It really is.
J.C. Pearson, you are from that Kansas City area. What would it mean for Blue Springs to do it and bring that title back home?
Oh, it would mean a lot, but Kelly, he's kind of downplaying a little bit. He knows that he's got a great ball club, and he's just playing, you know, kind of downplaying it. Oh, it would mean a lot for us. And, you know, I mean, he knows that they expect to come in here and play well and win.
The defense has been a big storyline in this game. Negative yardage for Hazelwood East in the first half offensively. Now they're staring at their first possession of the second half at a 3rd and 12 with the ball on the 7. And again, if they cannot make a first down, something that Corey Johnson was talking about with Brent Stover, if they have to punt it away, again, good field position for Blue Springs.
That's right.
So big play here, 3rd down and 12. Man in motion. That's Williams. Buchanan with time this time and guns it over the middle and has Tony Moss. And a first down, and Moss out across the 25, and that's the first time they've been able to convert a 3rd and long situation. He was brought down by Curtis Cooper, the defensive back.
Buchanan finally has some time to throw the ball. You can see he's scrambling around, and there's Moss running right across the middle of the field. Byers not able to bring him down, and they're finally able to convert a 3rd down play for a first down.
That's just their 3rd first down on the night. Had just 2 in the first half. 1st and 10, ball on the 29 for the Spartans. And maybe that gets them going. Play clock again running low. It's at 5. Buchanan has to get this play off quickly. Down to 2. He does. They set up a screen right side. They try to get it to Moss, but it was over his head. Second time we've seen them try to go to Moss with a screen, and Buchanan rushed it a bit. First time he threw it in the ground, this time over his head.
Blue Springs is really coming so quickly. He doesn't have time to even set the screen up. You can see, even though he throws the ball, there are still 2 guys right around him, Ringwood and Hankins, just all over him. You can see he's got to set this up quickly and throw the ball out there. He just lets it sail on him, but they've got to try to find some ways to buy some time. How about rolling the pocket? Let him roll out. If there's nobody available, well, now he can run the ball because he's got some room.
Richard -2 tonight. Moss at 9. Play clock at 3. They better hurry. Down to 1. They get it off. The pitch comes left side. This is Moss. Has a block, but couldn't just squeeze through there and picks up maybe a yard or 2. And it'll be another 3rd down and long situation for the Spartans. Ringwood was in there with the tackle.
And they just can't get outside. Blue Springs doing a great job of keeping leverage on the ball. Look at Pike right there, keeping the ball on his inside shoulder, fighting through blocks, trying to turn the ball inside, and Cooper cleans him up. But that's a great job of disciplined defense, turning the ball back inside.
They converted on their last 3rd down situation. It was 3rd and 12. Now it's 3rd and 7. Buchanan out of the shotgun with time, and now he's going to be brought down again. Ringwood in there with the sack. And Hazelwood East will have to punt it away.
Ringwood is all over the football field making plays. This guy comes on the blitz, and watch him just run through the block of David Richard. He's going to come, and right there, Richard is a guy that's going to Michigan State, big Division I player, and Ringwood just runs right through him and then makes the tackle on Buchanan. Great play.
Cooper for Blue Springs, standing on his 45, he'll let it bounce, and it takes a Hazelwood East bounce down at the 31-yard line, and that's where Blue Springs will have it. 1st and 10. We'll take a timeout with 8:23 to go in the 3rd quarter. 21-0 Blue Springs in a romp.
When we were deciding where to build this plant, we wanted quality of life and plenty of electric power. This area is real nice, but the electric co-op is pretty small. Not a problem. They're part of this group of over 500 co-ops nationwide, Touchstone Energy. Our co-op worked with us to make sure we got the right power and the right price. So we built the plant, and we get to live here.
And we shine as one.
Seduction can take many forms. Feast your eyes on the newest. Meet the Chrysler PT Cruiser Touring Edition. Brilliantly engineered, beautifully designed, and equipped with plenty of enticing standard features. And it's all yours for just $19,305. Sounds pretty tempting, huh? The Chrysler PT Cruiser Touring Edition. It's waiting. Available now at your local Chrysler dealer.
Hello? Hello?
The power of cheese.
Welcome back to the Dome, and Josh Barge, the leading wide receiver for Blue Springs, has been relegated to spectator. He is done for the game with a right knee sprain. And Coach Donahoe mentioned as his team headed to the locker room that running back Andrew Tuggle was a little banged up. I talked to the head trainer, and he said, hey, it's no one injury. He's been dealing with bumps and bruises all season long. He's definitely not coming out of the game. Back upstairs.
Thank you, Brent. He's in there now. Man in motion, that's Mayfield for Blue Springs. And the handoff right up the middle. Here's your man, Andrew Tuggle. Talk about the loss of Barge. 60 receptions and over 1,000 yards coming into this game, and he had a touchdown reception to put Blue Springs on top to start this game.
And not only that, he's also their starting cornerback. So now they lose a cornerback also with very good cover skills.
There's a look at number 22, Josh Barge. 6-foot senior. He's got track season to look forward to, and hopefully a state championship for Blue Springs is what he's thinking. Under 8 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. There's Tuggle again. Round the corner, pushed out of bounds at the 39. Pushed out of bounds by George Love, the linebacker.
Coach Donahoe was telling us how important the fullback is to this offense. And watch Vaughn. You see him, number 40, going in motion. And Tuggle just follows him around the corner. You can see Vaughn just chips George Love and allows Tuggle to get up the field. And now they're in 3rd and short where they want to be as opposed to 3rd and long.
Hazelwood East has had 30 plays offensively, a total of 14 yards after their first series here in the 2nd half. And that has been the story. The defense of Blue Springs and some big plays by their offense. 3rd and 2, ball on the 40. And flags are flying. It looks like Hazelwood East may have jumped. Hard count may have got him to jump.
That's exactly what it is, and it's going to give Blue Springs a 1st down. Tell you, Dan, when you're down by 21 points, all those little penalties really become major penalties. And you can see they're going to jump right left side of your screen right there, which gives Blue Springs a 1st down. And not only that, they keep the ball and keep the clock running, which is what they want to do the 2nd half.
Mayfield to the short side. Curtis Cooper out wide left. Man in motion. Joey Vaughn. Little option, little pitch. Here's Tuggle, and he is strung out. Good job defensively by Massey, the senior for Hazelwood East. And a loss of 5 on the play.
Hazelwood East, they still have a lot of speed on defense, and they're playing hard. This is a bad decision by Whitworth. He should just turn that up, because you can see Brandon Massey is out there on the pitch, man. Sometimes you can't just force it. You just got to turn it up and take the short loss.
And Tuggle looks to be banged up just a bit as he takes a knee. Remember that sore shoulder that he came in with, and that seems to be the problem there. He was wrapped up and then hit again from the backside on that last play.
As you can see, that left shoulder right there, he takes a big hit on it from the backside by Brandon Crowder. And when your shoulder is already sore and banged up and you take a shot like that directly on it, that young man's in a lot of pain. But he's a tough player, and as Kelly Donahoe told us, you're not going to keep him out of the ball game. You can see the helmet right there, Crowder, right on that left shoulder. And man, that hurts. I've had those before, and even when you just fall down, it hurts tremendously.
Matt Webb then moves to the tailback spot. 36 rushes on the year. They want to throw the football. Whitworth has a man. That's Cooper across midfield and down near first down for Blue Springs. B.J. Cole in on the tackle along with David Richard, but Cooper picks up close to a first down. Looks like he may have it.
Great job of rolling the pocket. You can see he's going to roll to his right, and Cooper right there just runs the zone buster, and he's open in the flat and is able to turn it up and get just enough for the first down. But a great job of flooding the zone. They've got a guy going deep, and then Cooper's going to come right to the flat right there. And Whitworth gets him the ball quickly in time to turn it up the field, make a couple guys miss, and get a first down.
Cooper, his second reception tonight, came in second on the team behind Barge in that department. Here's our first look at Matt Webb, straight up the middle, back to the original line of scrimmage. He is a big guy, 5'10", 175, just a junior. Had a couple of touchdowns this season, brought down by Crowder of Hazelwood East.
Webb is a guy that's gotten some playing time. They just run the counter, and he's just trying to follow his fullback. Bond takes a good hit inside by Richard, but he wraps the ball up. Hazelwood East defensively, they've got to try to take the ball away somehow. They've got to start ripping that ball out to cause a turnover.
Little trip set to the top of your screen for Blue Springs. They want to throw the football. Little play action. Ooh. He was looking for Jordan Blease, but couldn't find him. Brent Stover, what do you have?
Well, Andrew Tuggle on the Wildcat sideline has a stinger in his shoulder. That's where the shoulder shifts, making inflammation then in the nerve, makes the shoulder then in turn feel numb. It's something he's dealt with all season. It's come and gone for all 13 weeks of the season. Right now he's dealing with it. They're just hoping it goes away and he can return to this ball game. Dan?
Brent Stover, MD.
With the medical diagnosis there, I just thought a stinger was when your shoulder goes numb.
Yeah,
I've had many of those.
Now I know what the problem has been.
Now I know what it is.
Good job, Brent. 5:46 to play. Here's the option and the pitch to Webb, who's knocked hard out of bounds by David Richard, who's headed to Michigan State. Going to bring down a 3rd and 7.
That's how this defense has played all year. Very fast and very aggressive. You can see the pitch outside, but watch David Richard come up right there from the inside and just lays into Webb. And he's a big man. You can see him flowing from the inside. A lot of speed, and he's got a full head of steam, and he just unloads on Webb. That's how this defense has performed all year long. They need to come up with some big plays.
Misspoke before. It's a 4th down situation. Here's the punter, Matt Jones, for Blue Springs, and he'll kick it away. Trying to angle it towards the sideline. Good kick there. He does it again. He does it again. What a kick. And they're going to mark that inside the 20-yard line, and they're going to say it went out at the 10. Blue Springs with a lead of 21-0 on top of Hazelwood East.
Seduction can take many forms. Feast your eyes on the newest. Meet the Chrysler PT Cruiser Touring Edition. Brilliantly engineered, beautifully designed and equipped with plenty of enticing standard features. And it's all yours for just $19,305. Sounds pretty tempting, huh? The Chrysler PT Cruiser Touring Edition. It's waiting. Available now at your local Chrysler dealer.
When we were deciding where to build this plant, we wanted quality of life and plenty of electric power. This area is real nice, but the electric co-op is pretty small. Not a problem. They're part of this group of over 500 co-ops nationwide, Touchstone Energy. Our co-op worked with us to make sure we got the right power and the right price. So we built the plant, and we get to live here.
And we shine as one.
I'm Bernie Federico for Game World. It's Game World's Christmas kickoff sale with savings on everything in the store.
That's right, Bernie. It's Game World's kickoff Christmas sale. This weekend is the largest Brunswick pool table and game table sale Missouri's ever seen. Save on pool tables, foosball tables, pinball machines, video games, and electronic dartboards. Financing's available at the kickoff Christmas sale this week.
Game World, it's where to come for serious fun. Right, guys?
Right, Bernie.
The 2001 Show Me Bowl is brought to you by Chrysler. Chrysler knows that students are our future. Your local Chrysler Dealers Association is a proud sponsor of the Misha Show Me Bowl. By Touchstone, football players are part of our cooperative. Your Missouri Touchstone Energy Cooperatives is a proud partner in Missouri high school activities. State championship on the line tonight. 5:34 to go in our third quarter. The Wildcats of Blue Springs lead it 21-0. Here's Hazelwood East, their second possession of the second half. And the handoff goes up to the first man through. That is Moss, and he was almost brought down immediately for a loss, but then picks up 5 on the play.
Tell you what, they still cannot block Darius Witherspoon, the inside backer. Watch him just come through untouched right there. He should blow this play up, but he drops his head and misses the tackle. But I guarantee you, he's not going to do that very often. They've got to find a way to block that guy.
Moss, a pickup of 5. That man has been all over the place tonight. Second down and 5 ball on the 15. Buchanan. He pitches it out to Tony Moss. A little speedster close to a first down, and he'll get it out near the 20, brought down at the 18 by Jeff Troy.
Troy does a good job of filling. They're trying to get the ball outside with Moss, but watch Troy, number 23, right there. Great job of coming inside out. He knows that there's leverage outside with Billy Byer, turning it back into him, and he runs the lane like a free safety is supposed to do, inside out, and makes a great tackle.
Third down and 1. Close to a first down is Tony Moss. Witherspoon with the tackle, and he has been all over the place. He has 3 sacks here tonight, and that has set a Show Me Bowl record.
And it's easy when they're not blocking you. All you have to do is just run to the football, and I think Hazelwood East is going to be just short here.
That's close. So that has tied the Show Me Bowl record in Class 5A.
And I'm going to go out on a limb right here, Dan, with the way Hazelwood East is blocking, and say that he's going to break that record sometime today.
Boy, he's been all over the place, and they are short. This is a key decision right now with under 4 minutes to play.
Looks like they're going to go for it. This is a big gamble, especially on your own 20-yard line. If you don't get this first down, you give Blue Springs the ball in your red zone.
Well, here's a ball game right here. In many ways, you could say this is the game.
This could be right here. Biggest play of the game so far.
Buchanan, the senior, all-conference basketball player, all-state football player under center. Looks to do it himself. I don't know if he did. They may have stopped him.
It's going to depend on the spot. Looks like they've got a favorable spot. You see the referee right across the 20-yard line. I think they had to get to the 20. But it's going to be close. Wow, what a gutsy call, though, Dan. If you don't get that first down there and you turn the ball over on your 20, the game is virtually over.
Let's see if they're even going to measure. They're not. They're just going to move the chains and say it's a first down for Hazelwood East. So a gutsy call pays off. 1st and 10 on the 20.
You can see Buchanan just lowers his head, but you can see that line of scrimmage doesn't budge. Blue Springs does a great job of controlling the line of scrimmage, and it's tough from here to see that that ball actually crossed the 20.
Kelly Donahoe thought that was a stop. He thought a turnover on downs. Instead, 1st and 10 for Hazelwood East. And a timeout taken by the Spartans again.
You can see the frustration on Buchanan. They're just confused right now offensively. They haven't been able to get into a flow or a rhythm in the running game or the passing game. They've got to try to do some things differently. Either roll Buchanan out, buy him some time, or throw it quick to the receivers.
Kelly Donahoe, 2nd year at Blue Springs. Heavy underdogs, and he said that shouldn't have been the case.
You know, we're excited to be in that role. I think our kids like that. Our kids have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder over that because of what we've been through this year, and to be undefeated and to be, you know, somebody was saying 14-point underdogs, which really surprises me. But, you know, they've got a ton of talent over there, so I can see why they'd be picked to beat us.
A ton of talent that's been shut down, to say the least. 3:03 to play, quarter number 3. And it's 1st and 10 for the Spartans. Moss in motion out of the backfield. And Buchanan will step back and throw. Here he comes again. Witherspoon all over him again. Sack number 4. Wow.
So I guess I wasn't going too far out on the limb by saying he was going to break the record, because when you're unblocked and for some reason Hazelwood East cannot figure out that they've got to block inside out, allow Buchanan to step up and avoid the outside rushers and throw the ball. But you can see from the inside Witherspoon, and then there's Ringwood. They're 2 inside backers. They're unblocked and they're in the backfield before Buchanan can even set up.
Loss of 5, 4 sacks for Witherspoon. All over the place tonight. 21-0 Blue Springs. 2nd down and 15 with the ball on the 15, and Hazelwood East cannot do anything offensively. Here they come again. This time Buchanan avoids it. Has some room. Out near the 30. Has a first down. Brought down at the 33. Ball was stripped away, but he was down. He wanted a touchdown to go along with those 4 sacks. Jeff Troy brought him down on that play.
And this is what they've got to do. They've got to find some ways to get some time, or have Buchanan just drop back and run the quarterback draw. This is a designed play right here to let those defenders get upfield like they've been doing and then try to find a crease. Does a great job of coming up, but Blue Springs, they've played well defensively all night long, getting after the quarterback. See Jeff Troy right there, and of course Witherspoon and Troy Pike coming right up the gut at you. And there's that guy Witherspoon, been unblocked virtually all night long. 4 sacks already. And Buchanan, he just has not had time to set up and throw at all. And then when they've tried to run outside with their speedsters, Blue Springs has done a great job of keeping leverage and turning the ball back inside also.
Under 2 minutes to play. Total yards for Hazelwood East 44. Under 2 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter.
Wow.
Here they come again. Watch out. He's brought down again. How many sacks is that? Billy Byer this time.
And give Blue Springs a lot of credit. They're bringing the blitz from different places. They'll bring it up the middle, or they'll bring it off the edge, and Byer's going to come off the edge right there, and he's unblocked again. And you can see Moss tries to pick him up, but he's too late. Byers just runs right by him. Moss has got to come over and pick this up. You can see he's too late on it, and Byers able to sack Buchanan again. But what they're not doing, they're not throwing the 3-step drop. They can't take 5- and 7-step drops against this defense and throw the ball.
2nd down and 16. Ball on the 27. Buchanan avoids one, can't avoid another. Witherspoon tripped him up again. Sack number 5 on the night. He is all over the place.
He is all over. But again, I can't say enough about Hazelwood East not blocking inside out. Watch Witherspoon. He's the inside backer coming unblocked again. And number 11, the fullback, David Richard, 225 pounds. He's got to jump over there like he wants to block. He just doesn't want to block. The defense of Blue Springs right now just wants this game more than the offense of Hazelwood East. There's no question about it.
3rd down and 21. We saw the eyes of number 44. He's licking his chops every time Hazelwood East has the football. 8 sacks tonight. Witherspoon with 5 of them.
And they're coming again.
And they don't pick it up again. Make it 9 sacks. This time it's Pike. And flags are thrown on the play well after the final whistle of that play. With just a second to go in our 3rd quarter.
Give Blue Springs and their coaching staff a lot of credit. Right now, they are just out coaching Hazelwood East. Hazelwood East, they don't know how to make the adjustments. You're going to see Pike again, just untouched coming off the edge. There's nobody there. And there's Ringwood again, the inside backer. And you can see the frustration out here. Moss, you can see the play is over. And that's just frustration right there. You just can't do that, and you can see the frustration on Tony Moss. These guys aren't used to being in a trailing role, especially in a game this big for the state championship. All the marbles, and you're getting thoroughly dominated. These guys are they've got to keep their composure. Right now, they're losing it.
So a personal foul against Moss, and they'll have to punt it all the way back in their end zone.
Blue Springs has done a great job all year on special teams, especially punt blocking. Watch that guy right there, number 23, Jeff Troy. He's got a couple blocks on the season, and I'm sure they'd love to have a big block right here.
Brian Trotterman is the punter for Hazelwood East. Cooper is back deep to receive. His time has run out here in our 3rd quarter. Just 12 minutes to go for Blue Springs. They have dominated from the get-go, and they lead it by 3 touchdowns.
Oklahoma State faces a Sooner squad marching towards a repeat title run. College football Saturday on Fox Sports Net, presented by Kyocera tomorrow.
Introducing the best damn sports show, period. It's 90 minutes of comedy, commentary, and all the scores and highlights you can possibly stand.
It's not sex, but it's close.
Weeknights at 7:30 and 11:30 on Fox Sports.
Check out Metro Sports Talk weeknights at 6 and 11 for all the latest sports news, highlights, and in-depth stories covering all of the teams in your hometown. Tune in each night to find out who the special guest will be. And only on Metro Sports Talk, we take your phone calls to get the viewers' insight. Join host Brad Porter each weeknight for the most complete coverage of the local sports scene.
Watch Metro Sports Talk to find out how you can win your very own custom-made clubs from Kenneth Smith Golf.
If you're looking for a used car, forget those classifieds. Olathe Ford, Olathe Lincoln Mercury, and the Olathe Ford Outlet are having a huge used car blowout. All 3 lots are jammed with more than 400 quality used cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Plus, catch low 4.9% APR financing on select Lincoln Premier, Ford, and Mercury certified used vehicles. But hurry, 4.9 APR financing won't last long. So skip those classifieds and head to Olathe Ford and Olathe Lincoln Mercury, just east of I-35 on Santa Fe.
Donahoe on the left, Corey Johnson, the head coach of the Spartans, on the right. Donahoe's club 12 minutes away from a state title. It would be their 2nd in school history. Their first came in '92. Trotterman in his own end zone to punt it away to start the 4th quarter. Snap back, they went after it. Cooper will have a chance here. Takes it at the 30. Busts it up at the 20. He's at the 15. He's inside. He's got a touchdown. They have beat up on Hazelwood East in every aspect of this game. Defensively, offensively, on the ground, through the air, and now with special teams. A 37-yard punt return for a touchdown And they are rolling.
And it was all set up by the pressure that forced them to kick it quick and low and allowed Curtis to catch it on the run. As you said, Dan, Blue Springs has thoroughly dominated in every phase of the game so far tonight.
The extra point up. And that is right down the middle. 28-0. Blue Springs is dominating Hazelwood East. Let's take a look at the return.
It's all started by a short kick, and then watch Cooper just get it and race outside, and he's got one guy to beat, and it's a great block right there. He actually just gets in the way, and that's all he needs to take it to the house. But the pressure forced a short, low punt. Cooper is able to catch it on the run going forward, and then it's just a full sprint to the outside, and he's able to take it to the house. Blue Springs, great job and great awareness by Cooper. He's able to catch it going forward like you want to do on a full speed run, and just gets it to the outside, and there's nobody out there. And look at those guys. Those guys are some happy young men. They can taste it now. They know they're up by 4 touchdowns in the 4th quarter. With that defense they have, it's going to be tough for Hazelwood East to come back on them.
Started out 7-0. 40 yards. Whitworth to Bard. Then Whitworth made it 14-0. Took it in himself. Then it was 21-0. A flea flicker. Blees to Cooper. And then Cooper with the punt return to make it 28-0. Little pooch kick. Taken at the 30. And Hazelwood East will have it at the 30-yard line, 1st and 10. Curtis Cooper all over the field tonight, defensively, offensively, and special teams. 28-0. Wildcats in control.
Those must have been some cookies you left, Santa.
I didn't leave them cookies. I left them cheese.
Ah, the power of cheese.
Want to make this a Thanksgiving to remember? You'll need food.
Don't do that again.
Games. Friends.
My parts are showing.
And surprises.
We'll handle this.
Throw the Thanksgiving bash everyone will want to crash. Never before seen on television. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Plus a sneak peek at the StarWars.com documentary R2-D2 Beneath the Dome.
Success has gone to his dome.
2 television premiere events. Fox Sunday.
Senator Pronger.
Oh! Hey! Come on. Great move. Shoot him, McInnes. He scores! Yeah!
Blue Springs leading 28-0 here in the 4th quarter in the 5A state championship. You know, I asked their head coach, Kelly Donahoe, earlier today, have you ever thought about coaching at the next level, the college level? He said he's given it a little bit of thought, but the problem is you don't get to have as large of an impact on the kids' lives, he feels. And it certainly has a huge impact on this team. Right now, they are less than a quarter away from their first state title since 1992. Dan?
Thank you, Brent. They have been well coached here tonight, and there is another sack. This is getting out of control as Buchanan is brought down, and I believe that is sack number 10 tonight. Alex Hawkins for Blue Springs.
And there's a flag down.
How about this stat? Total yards, 54 for Hazelwood East.
And you can see they're just bringing the pressure again. And Buchanan, at this point, he's not even looking downfield. He's looking at the lineman coming in. There's a late hit right there on number 57, Jake McMullen, just coming in a little late. But you've got to like the aggressiveness of this defense. They're not letting up one bit, even though they're up by 4 touchdowns.
Blue Springs has held Hazelwood East to just 14 yards of total offense, 54 in the air. But because of so many losses, 14 total yards on offense, the fewest allowed in a state championship game at Class 5A was back in 1988. Jefferson City held McClure North to 88 yards that season. With time, looking in the air, has a man, almost intercepted. Almost intercepted by Chris Miller.
And now they max protect to try to give Buchanan some time, but they just can't throw it deep, just drop back and wing it, because Blue Springs is expecting that. You can see they finally buy him a little time, but Chris Miller, he knows they want to try to run deep, does a great job of playing the football, and almost comes up with an interception. You can see, great job. He turns into the wide receiver at this point, and Brandon Williams has to play defensive back and knock the ball away from him. But they just can't drop back and wing it deep. They've got to try to throw the ball quickly to their receivers and then allow them to make some plays.
11:23 to go. 4-touchdown lead for Blue Springs. And again, Hazelwood East has to take a timeout, their final timeout of the game. They have just been so out of sorts from the get-go. It's hard to believe that this is the #1 team in the state. There's been some big plays, though, by Blue Springs that have negated a lot of things that Hazelwood East is trying to do. First of all, let's talk about the offense. Here's a big play. 59 yards. Police to Cooper. And for Cooper, that's his first of 2 touchdowns. You want his second? Here it comes. This made it 28-0. A 37-yard punt return. Cooper's been all over the place. 28-0. Blue Springs has a lead. Some big plays for the Wildcats, JC.
They have made some big plays on offense, but defensively, they've stepped up from the opening kickoff and just dominated Hazelwood East's offense. And this defense, they felt they didn't get enough credit coming into this ball game. They're going to get it after this game is over, I'm sure.
And team speed was overlooked. 14 sacks on the night for Blue Springs. That has got to be a Show Me Bowl record. Has to be. Here they come again. That is sack number 15. Billy Byer. He's trying to go after a record of his own.
And East still has not figured out what they can do against this blitz of Blue Springs. They keep trying to drop back, and you can see Buchanan, he drops back, but now he's looking at the blitzers coming. You can see Byers coming here, Ringwood's coming from the inside again, as he's been doing all night long, and Buchanan just has nowhere to go. You can't continue to drop back 5 steps or 7 steps against this blitz. You've got to get rid of it quick.
And they have to punt it away. Here's Cooper again. At the 47, he dropped it. Hazelwood East has it. The recovery for Robotham. So Cooper a little sloppy there. There is a flag, though, on the play. 28-0 Blue Springs. We'll tell you about the flag when we come back.
Coming up next, it's the Midwest Sports Report.
Baby, I don't believe it!
It's the nightly newscast you've been waiting for.
This is the real deal.
30 minutes every night dedicated to scores, highlights, and interviews from your hometown teams.
We told you it was going to be good.
Your teams, your town, your show. The Midwest Sports Report coming up next on Fox Sports Net.
It's football season. Blue Springs Wildcat and Blue Springs South Jaguar fans, you know what that means. Varsity football action live on AM 1030 KCWJ. Presented by Vision Sports and Comcast. Join play-by-play announcer Brian Johnson.
He's into the end zone, 90 yards, touchdown Blue Springs.
When the Wildcats play, color commentary by Tim Crone. And when the Jaguars play, Buddy Young takes the broadcast booth.
Blue Springs versus Hazelwood live on KCWJ AM 1030 Friday, November 23rd at 7 p.m. 6 p.m. pregame.
Mira el blitz.
El pase. La atrapó.
La NFL Dominical por ESPN, 7:30 p.m. hora del este en ESPN Deportes.
Vengan a visitarnos en Cable Dahmer por la calle Nolan and Independence, donde ayudamos a hacer su experiencia de compra un placer.
28-0 Blue Springs. The right side of your screen, you'll see it there, JC. It's a hold, and right when Hazelwood
right
East,
there.
Yeah, right when they get something going in the right direction, that happens.
When it goes bad, it goes bad. They can't make a play anywhere.
Here's Cooper, fair catch taken at the 41. So Blue Springs will take over 1st and 10. Mark Halsey has been our producer tonight. Tom McLaughlin, our director. John Throm doing a great job on the stats up here with us. Hope you've enjoyed this. J.C. Pearson, Brent Stover, and Dan McLaughlin with you. 28-0 Blue Springs. A look at the past Show Me Bowl champions. Last year, Rockhurst defeated Pattville, and that ties into what we're seeing tonight. Blue Springs beat Rockhurst twice this year. Melville over Rockhurst the year before. Riverview Gardens defeated Jeff City in a wild game. That was a fantastic game. Then 97, Jeff City over Parkway Central. Darren Sunkett won that game for Riverview Gardens, their head coach. And the quarterback will keep it himself. He's brought down and near out of bounds. Justin Whitworth, the ball carrier, the quarterback, the 6'1 senior. And Love brought him down for Hazelwood East. Brent Stover, what do you have?
Well, Hazelwood East with no points in this game. Obviously, the fewest they've scored all year was 7 against Hazelwood West. But that's obviously the fewest. They still won that game, obviously, 7-0. For Blue Springs, they're looking for their 4th shutout of the year and looking to end the season the same way they started. They beat Raytown South 56-zip back in August.
Obviously, they're in control of this one, 28-0.
No question about it. And, you know, they'd be happy with the 1-point win, but obviously they're dominating this game. It's going to be much more than that.
Whitworth trying to throw the football. Why throw the ball up 28-0 with 10 minutes on the clock?
You're right. Obviously, you want just to keep the clock running, ground it out. Your offensive line is starting to really open up some holes for your running backs. Continue to run the ball, try to keep the chains moving, and stay out of these 3rd and long situations where you have to throw.
Intended receiver was Danny Collins, 5'11 senior. You could read the lips of Kelly Dono. He said, come on, let's run the ball. Keep the clock moving. No need to throw the football up by 4 touchdowns. That's what they're going to do here. Tuggle across the 40. Near 1st down and knocked out of bounds. That'll stop the clock momentarily. B.J. Cole in on the tackle for Hazelwood East.
You can see Tuggle grimacing. He's beaten up, but he's not coming out of the game. But watch the fullback, Vaughn. He's the key to this offense. Look at him. Great job of blocking the force man. Tuggle just turns it up inside of him and then takes it back outside. The only thing he should have done is stayed in bounds so the clock would continue to run. But that young man is gutting out. Very gutty performance. He's beaten up. His knees are hurting. His hips are hurting. His shoulders hurting. But you can't bring him off the football field.
Just a junior is Andrew Tuggle. He stays in the game in the backfield. They keep it himself. That's Whitworth. Let's take a look at what Tuggle has been able to do this season. Over 1,800 yards, 25 touchdowns. He averaged 7 yards per carry. And he averaged over 140 yards per game. Sore shoulder and all. 1st team All-State. Why not? He's been all over the place tonight.
And he's been the heart and soul of that offense. You can see nothing fancy about him. He's not going to try to run around you. He's just going to run north and south like all good running backs do with a lot of power.
Turnover on downs. Hazelwood East will have it with 9:48 to play. And a 28-0 lead for Blue Springs. Again, the play clock down low and flags fly. Somebody jumped. That'll go against Hazelwood East. The frustrations continue for Dwayne Buchanan and the Spartans. False start against Hazelwood East. Buchanan looking for anybody. Trying Moss and out of bounds.
They just have not been able to get anything going offensively, not in the run game and definitely not in the pass game. Even when he has some time to throw the ball, he's so used to being blitzed. He's been sacked 15 times already tonight. He's so used to that pressure coming. He's not going to just stand in the pocket and set his feet and throw the ball. He's moving around, and any quarterback, when he's on the run and doesn't set up, is not going to throw a very good ball.
Hazelwood East out of the suburban north here in St. Louis. 8-0. Came in undefeated. Ranked nationally and ranked #1 in the state. 3 men out wide right. Dwayne Buchanan will work out of the shotgun, and again, false start.
I think this is going to be a delay of game.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Just mental errors. Just one thing after another has killed them all night long. And you see the coaches are telling him, you've got to look at the clock, but I don't blame him. He's looking at those linebackers that are coming after him. They've been in his face all game long. So he's like, forget the clock. I want to see who's going to hit me next.
15 sacks, 5 for that man, number 44. 2nd down and 20. For the Spartans. Across the middle, he has a man, and it's caught. That's Brandon Massey. And Massey's going to take it to the house. Touchdown for Hazelwood East, 77 yards. Brandon Massey came in 2nd in receptions for the Spartans, and Buchanan drilled him with that touchdown, 77 yards.
And this is their big play ability if they just have time to throw it. You can see Massey's going to run across the middle of the field right there. The ball almost is picked off by Ringwood, but Massey makes the catch, and then he just outruns everybody on that Blue Springs defense. That's what they have not been able to do all night, Dan, is get the ball in their playmakers' hands because of the pressure. But you can see what can happen if they're able to do that.
So Hazelwood East finally on the board with 9:27 to play, and they'll go for 2. Buchanan across the middle. Good defensive play, knocked away by Curtis Cooper. Excellent play defensively by Cooper, so it stays 28-6.
Going back to the touchdown, they're in the shotgun to buy Buchanan a little more time, and he's able to step up and throw, and a great throw to Massey, and he's able, once he makes that catch across the middle, there's a lot of room out there in that Blue Springs secondary, and he just outruns them. But this ball still is almost picked off by Ringwood. But give Buchanan a lot of credit after all, and that ball actually looked like it got tipped by Ringwood, but Massey's able to come down with it and take it to the house. That's the big play potential that they have. And watch the ball right here. Ringwood actually gets his hands on it right there, goes right through his hands and right to Massey. That was almost an interception and going the other way for Blue Springs, but instead Massey comes up with the big play for Hazelwood East. And you know, they've got an onside kick here and try to get the ball back.
Brian Trotterman is the kicker for Hazelwood East. The second line, if you will, of the return team has moved up about 10 yards for Blue Springs. They'll onsides it to the left side. Trotterman kicks it low, but whistles will whistle that dead before we even get it going.
Another penalty, Hazelwood East, offsides. Darnell Ray just way offsides before the kick.
2 plays, 67 yards, took 21 seconds for Hazelwood East. Their first touchdown of the game. .9:27 to play, and we'll do it again.
And it's no wonder that they got a penalty on this. They haven't had to do this all season long. They haven't been behind in the ball game, especially this late,
to have to onside kick. So this is probably the first time all season that they've even worked on it.
Now they say, let's try the other side. Good kick. Hazelwood East has a chance to get it. Did they get it? They did. Hazelwood East will have it at midfield. Robert Smith, part of the recovery there. They have a life.
What a great kick by Trouterman. You can't kick an onside kick any better than this. Watch this ball just pop up at the end and die right there. Darnell Ray does a great job going up and getting the ball, but you can't kick a ball any better than that.
Let's see if they have a little spring, a little life now to their offensive set. Down 28-6 with 9:24 to play here in the fourth quarter. The Spartans with their second possession here in a row. Here comes the blitz. They don't pick it up. Buchanan close to the original line of scrimmage. Ball on the ground. And Hazelwood East has it. Causing that was Troy Pike. It was an odd play. About half the field stopped moving.
You can see the blitz again coming, just the quarterback drawing. Buchanan's got to put that ball away. You see him ripping the ball out. Ringwood does. And Hazelwood East is able to recover it. But again, they're blitzing inside with Witherspoon. They just run the quarterback draw. And look how he's carrying the ball. You've got to secure that ball, especially inside. Those guys from Blue Springs are taught to rip that ball out.
Buchanan out of the shotgun across the middle. Oh, he had him. That was Massey again. Same play except the other side. If he catches that, that might be 6.
And we've got a whole new ball game. You can see there's room to run because they're playing man-to-man coverage outside. You can see Massey's going to run the slant. And it's just off his hands right there. If Buchanan can get that ball down into his body, he may be able to take that to the house.
Chris Miller with the coverage, number 4 for Blue Springs. 3rd down and 8, ball on the 48. And Buchanan wasn't ready for it. Still on his feet, spinning, and knocked out of bounds. They'll lose 5 yards on that play. Witherspoon was in there. They just have not been able to get anything going.
I tell you, once it looks like they're starting to get on a roll, again, another mental error. They snapped the ball too early. Buchanan's not ready for it. It's 3rd down, and now he's just got to try to make something out of nothing. And of course, he doesn't come up with the 1st down, but such a frustrating night, especially for that young man right there. He's gotten pressured all night long, and as soon as they start to get something going, they shoot themselves in the foot again.
Brent Stover, where do we find you?
Well, I'm down on the Hazelwood East sideline. And boy, Kelly Donahoe, the head coach for Blue Springs, was excited about driving 4 hours, coming in here, getting to play in the Dome. And, you know, this game is more than just East versus Blue Springs, but it's kind of a rivalry between Kansas City and St. Louis. Last year, Rockhurst out of Kansas City came in here, made the trek, and beat Pattonville. Now Spring will do the same thing again this year. Dan?
You're right. St. Louis against Kansas City. Jeff City pretty much in between, though, but these two teams representing their cities. Blue Springs has got the best of it so far, 28-6. Both these teams worked out on turf during the week. Hazelwood East worked out at the Rams facility on Wednesday night. Blue Springs, the Kansas City Chiefs facility, their indoor facility, to get used to the turf. There's a 4th down and 11. Here they come. Buchanan takes it himself. He's got room. Has the 1st down across the 35 to the 20. And he's knocked out of bounds at the 15. Troy knocked him out of bounds. Jeff Troy, but Buchanan picks up a big gain. This season, over 230 yards rushing, and he picks up the 1st down, and the Spartans have a life.
Looks like they finally figure it out. They drop him back from the shotgun, and as soon as he sees the seam, he takes off, and he's got a lot of ability. He said he's got over 200 yards rushing.
this year does a great job of pulling it down. You can see when there's nothing there, you got to go right away. That's what he hasn't been doing. He finds a crease, and there's a lot of running room there. Big play for Hazelwood East. If he's able to score, or if they're able to score on this drive, we've got a new ball game.
1st and 10, ball on the 11 for Hazelwood East. Buchanan pumps, jukes one man, and his shoe falls off, but he's down inside the 10.
But now he's finally figured out that, hey, if my first receiver is not there, I've got to just pull it down and run. He doesn't have time to come to a secondary receiver because the blitz is coming. You can see he wants to throw the slant. It's not there, so he pulls it down immediately and tries to make something happen, and he gets positive yards. And even though he only got 4 or 5 yards out of this, it's better than taking a sack.
Sure. A 2nd down and 6, ball on the 7 for Hazelwood East. 7.5 minutes left to go. Williams in motion. Buchanan hands it off, and Moss is met rudely and brought down hard by Bruce Ringwood. Nowhere to go for Moss.
Ringwood and Witherspoon, those guys inside. You can see Witherspoon right there, but Ringwood is number 20 right there. They're just blitzing and shooting those A gaps at the snap. So if you're going to run the ball, you don't want to run it inside because you know those guys are coming. You've got to try to get around the edge on it.
3rd and 6 on the 7-yard line. Out of the shotgun, Buchanan. Here they come. They pick it up. Has a man. It's a touchdown. Touchdown, Robert Smith. The tight end, his 3rd touchdown reception this season for Hazelwood East.
Looks like they finally figured out how to attack this defense, and that's throw the ball quickly, like I've been saying all game. You can see they're in the shotgun to buy some time, but he just drops back and he throws it outside to Robert Smith, just gets his big body in front of Cooper.
7-yard touchdown reception for the tight end, Robert Smith, 6'4" senior. This is big here. They'll go for 2. Williams in motion. Over the middle and knocked down. There's that man again, Mr. Cooper. Good play by Curtis Cooper. So it's 28-12. We'll see another onside kick.
Great job. It looks like Smith is open, but look how Cooper closes on that football. Does a great job. Buchanan's got to throw that a lot quicker. You can see Smith is telling him, just get it to me, just throw it. On the touchdown, Smith just runs the slant and gets his big 6'4", 210-pound body in front of Cooper. Right there for the touchdown. Cooper's all over him, but Buchanan put it in the only spot that Smith could catch it. But it seems like, Dan, they finally figured out how to attack this defense. And that's by throwing it a lot quicker.
Dwayne Buchanan is cooked on the sideline, the quarterback for the Spartans. Don't forget, Midwest Sports Report will come your way at the final gun here tonight. 7 plays, 50 yards, 2:59 off the clock on that last drive. 7-yard touchdown reception, Buchanan to Robert Smith. And they will onside it again. Surprised that we have not seen a hands team out there for Blue Springs. Onside kick, and it's taken very easily this time. Very easily handled by Blue Springs and Jordan Blease. Well, Hazelwood East has made it interesting. Robert Smith, a touchdown reception, cuts the lead at 28-12.
Seduction can take many forms. Feast your eyes on the newest. Meet the Chrysler PT Cruiser Touring Edition. Brilliantly engineered, beautifully designed, and equipped with plenty of enticing standard features. And it's all yours for just $19,305. Sounds pretty tempting, huh? The Chrysler PT Cruiser Touring Edition. It's waiting. Available now at your local Chrysler dealer.
When
When we were deciding where to build this plant, we wanted quality of life and plenty of electric power. This area is real nice, but the electric co-op was pretty small. Not a problem. They're part of this group of over 500 co-ops nationwide, Touchstone Energy. Our co-op worked with us to make sure we got the right power and the right price. So we built the plant, and we get to live here.
And we shine as one.
This notebook is bound to raise a few eyebrows. It's got a laser-sharp screen, hot swappable drives you can switch on the fly, a lightning-fast Intel Pentium 3 processor, and the power to turn heads. Envious? Why? For just $13.79, we can build one for you, the Compact Presario 1700T. Call 1-888-271-1826 to buy now and double your memory for free. Plus, get a free upgrade to a 2-year limited warranty.
Fox Sports Net, this is the high school football state championship. And the Wildcats lead it 28-12. Both these teams came in ranked in the top 5. It was 1 against 2. Both are undefeated. One will be a state champion tonight. Hand off. This is Tuggle. He's happy enough just to go down. Remember, Hazelwood East does not have any more timeouts to stop the clock. Brandon Massey with the tackle.
That's exactly right, Dan. Blue Springs is going to just keep this ball on the ground, keep the clock moving. They're not going to snap the ball until there's 2 seconds left on the play clock to try to milk this clock as much as possible.
Clock is against Hazelwood East. Blue Springs will just let the play clock wind down. Then they'll get the play off. Down to 5. Pitch to Tuggle. To the wide side of the field. Back to the original line of scrimmage. Across midfield and down near the 47. Brent Stover, what do you have?
Well, moments ago, you saw the picture of Dwayne Buchanan, the quarterback for Hazelwood East, laying on the ground in exhaustion. Well, the guys that have been chasing him around all evening, well, they're pretty exhausted, too. Over on the sideline of Blue Springs, you got defenders like Robert Taylor and Darius Witherspoon. You can especially expect that from Witherspoon to be a little tired. He's doubled his output in stacks in one night. Not a bad time to do it here at the state championship. Guys?
Brent has a team close to 20 sacks, and we see a man a little shook up on that last play. On the ground, it's Tuggle. He's been playing in pain since the opening whistle.
And he's just giving it everything he has. They run the toss to him. He's able to get around the corner with some great blocks, especially by number 40 right there, Vaughn. But he just goes down again on that shoulder. He came in with a sore shoulder, and I mean, this kid is tough. You can see he's in a lot of pain, but this is for the state championship here, this is no time to sit out. If you can be on that field, especially if you're Tuggle with those 1,800 yards, he's going to be out there.
Missouri, Kansas, K-State all taking a look at Andrew Tuggle, who wears number 24 for Blue Springs. 3rd and 5. Matt Webb is in the backfield. Ball on the 49. Play clock down to 1. They get it off. Here's Webb, right side. Has a first down, and he's knocked out of bounds. That may be enough to close out Hazelwood East.
That may be it right there. Great job of the corner. Watch these guys around the corner. Great job by number 56. Palalay, you see him coming right there, and also the fullback. Bond, great job, and you can see Webb. He just takes it. He's going downhill. He knows he's got to get the first down. Just follows his big lineman, Palalay, past the first down marker. And as you said, Dan, that might just do it for this game.
5:24 left to go. Here's Webb again. The pitch. He'll stay between the tackles, and a flag flies. Looks like we may have a hold. Massey with the tackle for Hazelwood East. We had a chance to visit with the head coach of Blue Springs in his 2nd season, Kelly Donahoe. What would it mean to him and his team to win the state title?
You know, it's every coach's, every kid's dream is to win the state championship, and it's hard to do it in Missouri. You know, you got the great Kansas City side, and then you got the St. Louis side, and in between you've always got the Kickapoos and the Jeff Cities and those schools. But it would just be unbelievable. It would just top off what's already been a magical season for us, and you know, it's exciting just to think about the opportunity. It really is.
I'm sure he's excited right now, along with his team and his coaching staff, with 5:17 to play. That win against Blue Springs, that last flag, 10-yard penalty. So it'll be 1st and 21.
You can see he's just saying, just run the clock. Run the clock at 5 minutes left. They just want this thing to run down and take home the state championship.
And hold the football. Don't put it on the ground. Still a 2-possession game. They're going to throw the football. Look at that. What a play and what a catch by Curtis Cooper.
Oh, my. Curtis Cooper has just been the man tonight. He's done it all over the football field, and what a catch. You don't understand the call, the pass play, but they complete it. And you can see they just run the go route to Cooper and watch him go after this ball. Great job of continuing to run. Instead of laying out, he runs until the last second and then reaches out to grab the ball. They just run the 3-step fade. And look at this grab by Cooper. Great job and a great throw. Another great throw by Whitworth.
Curtis Cooper, 5'11" senior, 4.4 speed, 2 touchdowns tonight, 1 on a flea flicker. The other was on special teams. He's played great defense, batted down a couple of balls from his free safety spot. He's headed to Arkansas next year. Here's Webb, and somebody moved up front. Ball start, and that'll go against Blue Springs. Let's take a look at what Curtis Cooper has done tonight.
You see him taking the snap from the quarterback early in the first quarter and just running the sweep, and then right here on the flea flicker, he just runs by everybody. 59-yard touchdown pass. Put Blue Springs out deep, and then the punt return. Just catches it on the run. Gets in the end zone. Blue Springs goes up at that point 28-0. Not only did he do those things, also has played great defense. Starting cornerback, their best cover cornerback, and has really played well defensively on top of everything else.
Great job by our crew putting these packages together. ISO looks at many of these players. 4:05 and running. Here's Webb, the Blue Springs, and he's content just to stay between the tackles, go down, hold on to the football, and keep the clock running. He's brought down by Whittington.
And what you don't see from Hazelwood East at this point is defenders trying to rip the ball out. They're content with just making the tackle. They've got to go in, wrap the guy up, keep him up so that someone else can come in and try to rip that ball out and get it on the ground. They're not doing that.
3.5 to play. The Show Me Bowl. Whitworth under center. He'll let it go down to 2 seconds on the play clock. A flag and the tackle made. Matt Rowe with the tackle. Webb, the ball carrier, picked up maybe 1 on the play. A hold against Blue Springs.
And at this point in the ball game, Blue Springs, they don't want to have any penalties. If you miss your block, that's fine. Just let your guy make the tackle. At least the clock continues to run. See, they're just running the toss. Watch number 40 right there, the fullback. You can see once you get your hands outside of the shoulder pads and get it on the back, they're going to call you for holding every time, especially when you're out in space like that. The referees are able to see it clearly.
Under 3 minutes to play. Whitworth watching the game clock as well as the play clock. Wants to throw the football, and it's almost intercepted. On 3rd down and 15, it'll bring up a 4th down, and Blue Springs will probably punt it away. May try a field goal. This would be a long one, though.
And again, 3rd and long, though. There's only 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the ball game. You can go ahead and continue to run it. You're probably not going to get a 1st down, but at this point, it really doesn't matter. You want the clock to continue to run.
Danny Watkins is on to attempt the field goal. This would be a 44-yarder. His longest is 38 this season. He's 11 of 14 in the field goal department. The kick is up, and it is no good. Well short. And Hazelwood East will have it with 2:36 left to play in the Show Me Bowl. Coming up after the game tonight, we're just 2:36 away. It's the Midwest Sports Report with Pat Paris. Rob King, Brent Stover, also a part of the program. Here's a look at what's on tap in this edition. Complete playoff recap and high school football coverage here from the Dome. Blues post-game sound, and a look at what they did from Detroit. Kevin Slayton sounds off after the game. The Midwest Sports Report only here on Fox Sports Net. Buchanan under center. Looking back to throw, has a man wide open. It's bobbled and dropped. Robert Smith had nothing but daylight.
Wow. That was the big play that they needed quickly. Running wide open. And you can see the frustration on that entire sideline, as well as Robert Smith. He's not going to drop these too many times. He does a great job on the wheel route, and instead of just looking the ball in, that's probably the easiest catch he's going to make all year. But he's looking downfield, he's thinking run, and you can see him right there just disappointed. He just can't believe it. And it's just been one of those nights for Hazelwood East. That says it all.
Something to watch out for is number 15 in white. That is Cooper. He is limping over there near the Hazelwood sideline. You can't see him there in your picture, but he is man on man against one of the fastest players for Hazelwood East, Darnell Ray, as well as Robert Smith. There's Cooper. He's limping there on the sideline.
And Blue Springs takes a timeout right here, and it's a very good timeout because they're in the huddle telling their defense, we've got to finish. We can't afford to give them any big plays. We played great all game long. We can't give them anything right here. So coach is in that huddle right now just trying to regroup those guys and get them refocused.
(28-12), Blue Springs with the lead. Just over 2 minutes left to play in the Show Me Bowl. Hazelwood East, they want to throw the football. Buchanan had time, and that's a coverage sack. Good job of the secondary, Blue Springs.
It sure is, but Hazelwood East, they've got to hurry up and get back on the ball. They don't have any timeouts left, and they're out there walking around.
Alex Hankins.
And look at how much time they're wasting to try to get a play call.
Hankins in on that last tackle. Under 2 minutes to play. Here's Buchanan. Trying to spin out of a sack. He can't. Lost the football, but he's going to be ruled down. Billy Byer with another sack. That might be his 5th or 6th of the game. And as a team, they are close to 20 now in the game.
Unbelievable.
Clock is still running. It's at 1:20. Hazelwood East is thinking they've got like another quarter to play.
And they're just out there walking around. I mean, obviously, they haven't worked on their two-minute offense very much this year. They haven't had to, but you still have to work on it in case you get in this situation.
One minute to play. And the fans on the other side, the Blue Springs fans, can sense it. Ball up in the air, and it's caught. A flag there on the play as Brandon Williams brought it down. That flag is going to go against Chris Miller, I believe. Witherspoon was all over again. Dwayne Buchanan.
We want the penalty.
We talked about his record-setting night in the sacks department. So pass interference on Miller. Stops the clock with 49 seconds to play.
It's all right, Coach Donahoe. Ball game is yours at this point. You can see Buchanan, he just throws it up for grabs. He gets hit inside by Witherspoon. And Chris Miller, he just makes an aggressive play on the ball. That's a pretty good play. Actually, you can see Coach Donahoe saying, no, that's not a penalty.
I agree with him.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Miller's got every right to that ball when it's in the air, just like the receiver does. With 49 seconds left, Blue Springs just needs to play deep.
So it's a first down for Hazelwood East with 49 seconds to play. In the Show Me Bowl. Has a man over the middle, and it's stripped away. Miller making that play, and Robert Smith was the intended receiver. He has a touchdown tonight, and that's his second drop in the last 5 minutes.
Buchanan does a good job of hanging in there, and this ball should be caught. You can see Smith, he loses it again. He just turns his head too quickly trying to run downfield and doesn't catch the football. That's the first thing you're taught. You got to catch the ball before you do anything.
Brent Stover, what do you have?
There will be no Gatorade bath for Kelly Donahoe for those keeping stats at home. Two more state championships here tomorrow. Can't afford to have Gatorade all over the field, so no bath coming up for him. I'm sure they'll celebrate in other ways, though.
All right, Brent, thanks. Over 30 seconds left to play. They swing it out to the right side. In on the tackle, Jeff Troy. Now that'll stay right there. 20 seconds to play, and the fans love it. Blue Springs has done it. They have pulled off the upset.
And they deserve it. They've had a long road to get here, played some big ball games against some great teams, and they persevered all season long.
The play is off, and they throw it deep. This will be knocked away. Blue Springs has won the state title. They are the state champions, although there is a flag down on the field. And this may continue.
I think they celebrated a little bit too soon, had too many people on the field, so Hazelwood East is going to get one more play out of this thing, but it doesn't matter at this point. The state championship goes to Blue Springs. Look, they just start celebrating too early, and they've got probably about 20 too many people guys on the field right there. And they try
Brent.
Yeah, it's too late. The referees flag them, so Hazelwood East is going to get one last play, but it's all irrelevant at this point.
The game is over. Blue Springs won a state title in 1992, and they win their second in school history here in 2001. Blue Springs, the 5A state champions of Missouri. 28-12 the final. Blue Springs out of Kansas City beats Hazelwood East out of St. Louis. Brent Stover is working feverishly to visit with the winning head coach. Kelly Donahoe in his second season at the helm of the Wildcats makes it 14-0. And they win the state championship. They upset the #1 team in the state, nationally ranked Hazelwood East, the Spartans from St. Louis. The final 28-12. Brent Stover is standing by with Kelly Donahoe. Brent?
Coach, first state championship since 1992. Some guys coach their whole career, never get one. In your second year, you got it.
I feel very fortunate. Surrounded by a tremendous group of coaches that work really hard at everything. And it's a great group of players that tremendous character and heart. And they put a lot into this. And it hadn't sunk in yet. I feel tired, but it's tremendous. We're really happy. I'm proud of the coaches. They're tremendous. And it's going to get better and better as the night goes on and the weeks go on. It's a great feeling.
Tell us about your senior quarterback, Justin Whittington.
Justin did a nice job. Made some plays when he had to, but you know, in the second half, you know, we had a few 3-and-outs on offense, and we have a punt return. We just kept the defense on the field too long, and no matter how dominant they were, it's hard to be on the field like that the whole game. But we got it done.
Did you guys come in and expect to shut down East the way you did?
Yeah, we did. We expected it. We did. I mean, we knew they were a great team, but we knew we had a great defense. So we just, you know, we just knew if we stuck to our game plan, we could put a lot of pressure on our quarterback, and you know we did.
Congratulations. Go celebrate.
Thank you. We're going to. Thank you very much.
That's the winning coach, Kelly Donahoe, in his second season at the helm, and Blue Springs. Dan, upstairs to you.
Brent, pressure to say the least. Close to 20 sacks on the night. Unofficially around 18 we had up here. Two of the players, the mainstays on defense, had 10, 5 apiece. So that sets a Class 5A state record. Just complete dominance by the Wildcats.
You said it, Dan. Complete dominance. They came out, was able to make some big plays on offense early in the game, and then defensively, they just took it to Hazelwood East all night long. They just had no answer for this zone blitz of Blue Springs. Those kids from Blue Springs, they deserve it. They've had a long, tough season, and they came through with flying colors.
Midwest Sports Report comes your way in 30 seconds. 28-12. Blue Springs does it. Their second state title. Their first since '92. They led at one point, 28-0. Dominance on the defensive side of the football, on the offensive side, and in special teams. For J.C. Pearson, Brent Stover, Tom McLaughlin, and Mark Holsey, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Thanks for being with us. Midwest Sports Report comes your way now.
Good evening. This is your Midwest Sports Report. Presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers.